What's up, everybody? As you can see, I have not Luke with me. You can actually see somebody's face. It's Mr. Wonderful, Travis from Hexastack. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. We've had some early shower uppers here, so let's run through the chat real quick. I saw Bjorn in here earlier, but I don't know where he went. So we got Fat Red Foo. What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Eldor's here. Good evening, Eldor. Ostradamus is here. And Allison Troy, greetings. And then some guy named Mr. Wonderful is also here. I don't know who that is. Carol is here. And that looks like all the people. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. It's been a hell of a day. How was your day?
Long, man. Long, busy.
Yeah.
Spent a little bit of time getting down into the dungeon we call the Hexastack facility, running some additional fans for ventilation to make sure that we're, venting out all of the toxic fumes that the printers are doing, and also adding some new heat bands to the printer. So good overall.
Have you tested the heat band yet?
So I didn't, because the vendor that I purchased them from, I had found through some YouTube videos and some reviews. They very solid recommendations based on the YouTubers. And when I got the order, it didn't have everything that was supposed to in the box. So I didn't want to go through, because I didn't know if they were going to make me send everything back and then send me out another shipment.
Right.
So what I ended up doing was I ended up waiting until I got back in touch with them, and I received the shipment on Friday. And unfortunately, I was having some internet connection stuff. I thought I was getting scammed for a minute. And then finally, they got back to me late last night. So they were shipping out overnight another band to me. So I'll be installing all three of those bands on the printers. My top row of printers, testing it out. That'll be my two Max 3s, and then my two Mono X2s. And then I've got the other four on the bottom there. So I'll install, if everything goes good for the top one, I'll place a second order and get the lower group all set up and see how that works.
Awesome. So was it getting stinky down there? Is that why you needed to add the extra?
Yeah. So
probably doesn't help that you got it enclosed in plastic.
Well, so I have it enclosed, but I have a crack. I had like a crack, and I had fans that were blowing it out the basement window. So I have a basement, an egress window right next to it, kind of in between the two racks that I have, with the rack on the right-hand side having all the printers. And I had a way to vent it out the window. The problem was my mom has an in-law suite on the other side of the basement, which happens to be up against the wall there. And what we're finding is that when I was getting ready for Legion's Con, she would come home from work and I would be running some stuff, and she felt that it was a little bit more smelly than I noticed, because I'm upstairs and away from it. So what I wanted to do was, before I put any more fumes down there for her, and in really that entire house, I wanted to make sure I was venting it out properly. So run a couple.
People really don't have any comprehension how strong resin smells, especially when it's curing.
Yep.
I made a river table a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
And you know what those are, right? Where you pour the resin into the table.
Yeah, they're like what Vala has with the bullets on it for his office.
Yeah, I made a river table, and I actually made it for my kids at my ex-wife's house. For it had like in the bottom of the river there was sand from our trip to Myrtle Beach that the kids had all collected, and then some stones that they'd found like when they were little, and I put a penny on in there with each of their birth years in it, just things like that, right? But I did one pour to seal all that in, and then I was like, I had a deep pour resin, so I was like, oh, screw it, I'll fill it up about halfway, right, with a darker color. Then I wanted to go lighter on top. Well, when I did that, man, I had to actually leave my house for like 4 hours because it was just so god awful. And it was like the first pour, I was like, oh, that's not bad. I can handle it. But it was like maybe, quarter inch, just enough to seal all that stuff in. The next one was about probably 2 inches thick, because the table's like, I made it for an outdoor table. So it's probably like, 3.5 3 3/4 inches thick. So it was
Gotcha.
a pretty thick piece of wood. But
Yeah, the resin I use is the water washable resin, and as I've gone through different tests and different runs, originally I started with your standard resin, but then to speed process, I went with the water washable resin so that I didn't have to use the um, you know
alcohol bath.
the isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
One, that's an expense, that's more of a hassle, and just making sure I had enough on hand. But what I found is, again, through the process, part of the items that I saw, I was just prepping them ready for for Legions Con last year. As I was getting that stuff ready, obviously we had the magnet issue where things weren't connecting well. But one of the other things that I wasn't completely satisfied with was that some of the stands were coming out, and you've seen them in some of the pictures of what I call my defective ones. They're not really defective; they work, but they're not perfect, and I wouldn't sell them to anyone. But they have like a powder coat looking of white on it, and through further research, further testing and stuff, found that what that is the isopropyl alcohol. It dries out really fast, right? Whereas the water sits in it, and even though that the resin seems very solid and not porous at all, there is the ability to absorb some of that water. And what I found is that if through a lot of YouTubers and stuff, what they say is if you're seeing that that white masking on the prints, it's a result of the fact that you've there was some moisture in the in the print when you went to cure it. So having switched to the water resin, it's a little bit more pricey. But I was thinking, oh, I'm going to save money on the isopropyl alcohol. It'll kind of be a wash in the end. It'll be less difficult to clean, things like that. Well, I'm back to isopropyl alcohol because it dries faster, doesn't leave that white hue on some of the black. And for my Hexa stands, most people aren't going to be painting them. They're the black, and you may paint some of them, but I don't. It's not like you can guarantee that that they're going to be be
you don't have white blemishes all over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. You're paying to really make this look premier. I don't want that. So back to the the isopropyl alcohol, and I have a massive amount of the water washable resin. I may eventually switch from the water wash to the standard resin to balance out that cost. Again, I'm not changing pricing or anything. I'll just take the hit on it for now. Once that stuff launches in a few weeks here. But really it's all about the product and the water washable. The other thing is, and it may come down to staying with the water washable long term, because of the smell. Because I do know that when I was using the regular resin, that smell was much more potent, whereas the water washable resin was a little less potent when it's printing and when it's curing. So right now I have a surplus of that. I still have some regular resin down there that I have for some other projects and things that I've been commissioned to do in the future. But that stuff is I may run some tests, and if it's just too much, I may end up switching back to the water washable at some point just to keep that smell down. But we got three fans going. We've got some I was originally using basically dryer vent stuff to vent it out. I switched over to vacuum hose. Basically, it's thinner, it's more adjustable, and I can kind of tuck it away and hide it. It's a really clean setup. I'm really happy with it. But it's coming along.
Good. Sounded like a cow is dying outside. My neighbor's somebody over there with a car that's got a squeaky fan belt or something.
Gotcha.
Strange. So anyway, we are talking some 1/18th goodness today.
What's 1/18?
I don't know. It's some scale makes everything more complicated than it has to be.
Oh, gotcha.
You ever collect any 1/18th stuff?
So going back, I got into collecting when I was a kid, obviously. Excuse me. I was into the Joes back in that 3 3/4, 1/18th ish. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's supposed to be very close, right? But I never really got into it.
Well, 1/18th scale technically was always 3 3/4 inch, and now modern times has changed it to 4 inch.
Right, exactly. So with me, I got back into really big, heavy collecting with the WWE figures because they were to scale, and you had the 6 inch. Rey Mysterio was 5 inches 3, 5 and 3 inches or whatever, and then your Big Show was closer to a 7 inch figure. So that's when I got big into it, and then obviously down path, ended up getting into Legions and Vala and Classified and AWOC and all that stuff. So I didn't actually have any 1/18th really until Christmas this year, and that was because I had seen Joy Toy around for a little while, having been a Warhammer fan for for my teenage years. I was aware of what Warhammer was, so I started seeing that stuff pop up, and I thought it looked really cool. I was never really good at painting figures when I was younger, so the fact that they had these pre-painted Warhammer figures, I thought was really cool. I didn't realize they were actually, as large as they were,
Yeah.
until I got some in hand and started seeing them a little bit more through Joy Toy. And then, when I started looking at Joy Toy, I saw, oh man, they have some really cool detailed figures. And I only got them really not because I wanted to collect them, because as anybody who sees me in the chats and stuff knows, is I collect a lot of crap.
Really?
there's a lot of lines that I've gotten my hands into over the last year or two, but I
I
wasn't
don't
looking to
think
get into
anybody
any
would
more.
guess that.
I haven't been looking to get into any more lines, right? Especially another scale altogether. But for Christmas, I was like, well, I got a lot of people asking about Hexastack, if they'll work with 1/18th and whatnot, and other scales and such. And I'm like, I should probably get something in hand. And then really try that out. So I said, oh, I'll just throw it on my Christmas list and see if the wife or somebody gets me it. And my wife and mom actually both ended up getting me a couple figures from Joy Toy for Christmas, and it's grown into a pretty large collection because of the fact that I have. I love the idea of being able to world build with this. The stuff is really cool. The details, like I love Classified. I love the Valaverse. I love all of those ones because of that detail that they have, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how good some of these companies are at putting that same detail into a smaller form factor, and having the ability to have figures in that smaller form factor. Because for me, Ed, you and I, we first started talking, about a year ago, when I started messing around with, trying to dio build.
Yep.
And I got my Proxon for Christmas just before, a year ago. Started cutting up some styrofoam boards and stuff, and starting to work on some scale stuff. But it just takes up so much darn room with that 1/12, and I love it. It looks cool. But for world building and for what I like, the stories and stuff that are in my head, it just doesn't work the way I want it to, because I want to package that stuff up and be able to put it in a box and pull it out and build a dio and then put it away, and have a place where I can redo the stage sets and have my own little mini Hollywood table, Hollywood studio in my basement that I can set on a table and move things. And you can do it with 1/12, but 1/18th is surely going to be a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, you can definitely get, say 1/12th, right? You could build, like I've seen some people build some pretty amazing like Star Wars Cantina dials, right?
Oh yeah.
But you're only going to get like the Cantina and maybe one building next to it, in 1/12 with a land speeder, or maybe an animal or two in the forefront, right?
Yep.
At least with 1/18th, you could build pretty much an entire city on a regular sized table, 8-foot table, right? 6-foot table.
Exactly. And that's what. And after Christmas, you and I were going back and forth in chats, and I was sending you some pictures. Obviously the first thing I did was, hey, how do these fit in my stands? Perfect. These, and I was alluding to it last week, is, a standard 1/18 scale Joy Toy Acid Rain figure. You can put two of them on every hexa stack. So you could put them side by side. You could, pose one up on a knee, one standing up. So for me, that was the first thing I did. And then I started kind of playing around with my hand, like I do all my figures, just kind of toying them, moving around, like, looking at these, and then Googling, hey, what's 1/18 scale got to scale down to? Like, how could I do some really cool dio setups for this? And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I only need like a 7-inch thing, and that's like a full 10-foot ceiling almost, or whatever.
Right.
Like I can get pretty good. And I don't know if my scaling there is 100% accurate by any sense of the mean, but
on the dio I'm building for Eagle Force Island, I put the floor levels between each floor at like, I think 7.5, which is a little tall, but it's kind of like a base, right? So I wanted it to be a little bit bigger than, but like a house or a regular building, right? 7 inches is basically a big enough gap for a ceiling, for sure.
Exactly.
Real quick,
And
what's up, Frank? Hey. Good. Thanks for stopping in.
Absolutely. Ted, we don't expect you to pay attention. You just go box those 106 and get them out to people.
So the other thing is, right, like I was saying last time you and I were talking, my Eagle Force Island, like the original Eagle Force was 2 3/4 inches tall. So the Eagle Force Island, of course, was typical made toy back then, which was kind of scaled to the figure, so it was kind of small anyway, right? So
Right.
now that they're 4 inches, I made it a little bit bigger, then I added a little bit more mass to it. But even at that, the dio is probably like I want to say 2.5 feet tall, right? The
Yeah.
dio total, and it still is small compared to my one room 1/6 scale dio, right? So it's like,
I'm giving myself perspective. I'm measuring so I could see on my desk how big that would be. That's pretty tall. I know you sent me
yeah.
some pictures. So
But it's probably maybe a foot and a half wide. But like I said, I made it big because I want to be able to park vehicles underneath it.
yeah,
It's got a cave to drive into and all sorts of stuff.
you
I'm
took
gonna
some
make
creative liberties with it to make it
Yeah,
a little bit
I'm gonna
bigger.
make it. I'm gonna try putting it on like a spinner, a bigger spinner table.
Oh, like
Not
a
a not an automatic one, but just like a lazy Susan type of thing.
that's
So
just
I
thing. I
could
was gonna call it Lazy Rosie, but yeah,
yeah,
Lazy Susan.
so I
Yep.
could spin it around myself, and
Yeah,
fart around with it or whatever, right?
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Um,
That'd actually be really cool to do if like you were doing some larger
you
scale.
probably need to get an Eagle Force figure because their feet, I believe, are different. I'll know when I get a couple when my
Okay.
birthday present comes in
Yeah, yeah.
soon with my Joy Toy, but
It's probably flying over the Atlantic right now.
it probably is because
Or
I
no, I'm
got the
sorry,
notice.
flying over the Pacific.
Yeah, I got the notice that it left the port. So,
Yep.
but I think their feet are thinner, like
Okay.
the way they're designed. So I'll let
Okay.
you know when I get mine though, just so you have an idea, right?
Yeah,
'Cause-
and the thing is, the ones that I've designed for the Joy Toy and stuff, and I don't have any up here right now, but the ones that I've tooled around with, and they probably need a little bit of adjustment before I make them officially live. But the ones that'll work with those, they, because of the way that I do that V shape, if they are a little bit thinner, you would just get, hopefully, you would just bring it up closer to the front.
yeah, bring it in a
And
little
then
farther.
exactly, if you bring it in a little bit tighter, it's going to be, there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thank you, Fat Red. I knew it was something like that, like just under 7 foot is 10 inches, or just under 7 inches is 10 foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fat
So
Red knows his 1/18 scale stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yep.
been building some decent dials of 1/18.
He's been doing some cool stuff. I
Yeah.
followed him last week. I think I was number 100 on his list.
Yeah, you were 100. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely I've gotten pretty big into the Joy Toy stuff. Got my own. I did this weekend receive my Acid Rain package. I did get a few Acid Rain figures.
So you want to open up the human figures and give us a comparison?
Yeah, I mean, I can show what I can show what I have right now, what I've
Yeah.
already opened.
I mean,
Because I
bring
did
up full
open
screen. Hold on.
these figures. They're semi-human, right? Like they aren't completely not human. They have a traditional body core here. The feet are a little they're a little different, right? They've got these
They're
like
definitely
monster.
anthropomorphic, so they're kind of
Exactly.
human-ness. Yeah.
They look like there's some sort of like, science experience Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
So this is if you're into the Joy Toy, I'm gonna grab a Joy Toy here real quick and kind of put it next to it. So
how is the articulation compared to Joy Toy? Is it are they as solid?
So let me show the scale and then I'll
Okay.
show some of the articulation here. So these are both kind of in size with each other, right? Like nothing so like drastically. My hands aren't even, right? But like
they're
they're
close
about the
enough
same
that you can tell
size.
they're in the same world. Yeah. Same
Yeah,
size.
exactly. And then the Warhammer ones, I feel, at least my experience with the Joy Toys, the Warhammers tend to be a little bit thicker, bulkier, just because like kind of the deco and stuff that they use for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. But with the regards to the articulation, they have like a back and forth hinge foot on this one.
Okay.
They've got the knee joint double knee articulation there. They have the thigh swivel. Sorry, I'm probably not showing it
No,
good.
you're fine. You're good. Yep.
But there's a thigh swivel, and it's got that same ball joint for the hip there, which works good. And then in the ab crunch, it's very similar in the articulation. I'm not really seeing much difference here, at least in this one. The elbows, I will say, this one seems a little flimsy, but it could just be this one. What I will say is, in my experience with the Joy Toy and the Acid Rain, and I have a very small level of experience with them, I have found that the multi packs when you get like they do for Joy Toy, they do like a annual 6 what is it like to do like an annual 6 or 7 army builder
Yeah, I
like
saw
lot
that.
you
I
can
saw that
get.
on their site. Yeah.
And I got that. And they feel a little like the larger bundle packs, they feel a little bit cheaper than their individual figures. Like
Yeah.
it's an army builder versus your um
Yeah, with the army builders are usually like what, $20 or something like that
exactly. The
normally.
price
So
point on them's lower.
yeah,
And I do believe from what I've seen is they tend to feel a little bit less quality. They're
right.
still the same figures, but the quality doesn't feel the same in them. And I will say, like, this one has more of that, feels a little weaker in the plastic, feels good. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. And yeah, there was a question there. Is this cloth?
Whoops. Yeah, is that soft goods? Fat Red asked that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
is cloth.
There is soft goods integrated in the plastic here. I think it's attached to the armor. So if you were to
Yeah.
take the head off and the armor pack off and stuff, if it's removable, which I do believe this portion is, that would come with it. So yeah, soft goods on there. Overall, like looking at this again after a couple days of letting it sit there, I like this one. This one's cool. But I did get this other one, which I'm not a huge fan of. And it could just be this figure. And I think maybe this is what I was stuck on, Ed, when I was telling you I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like I wasn't sure how I felt. It's like it's got this weird, and
Yeah, it looks like
could
they
just be
tried to
this
put like
character.
some canine legs on them or something.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know how
Yeah.
the leg's supposed to go. Like,
It's supposed to
again,
be just like that werewolf shaped legs is what it is. So
yeah,
it haunches back at the knees and then goes forward again at the ankles.
it's really weird. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what they were attempting to do here. Maybe I just don't like the character, right? But
Yeah.
again, very similar. What I would likely do on this is I probably, depending on what I come across, if I could find like a broken Joy Toy that's out there, like an army builder, or not a Joy Toy, but like maybe a Joy Toy, but like an Acid Rain one that was cheap. I would likely just pop the lower
Yeah.
half
Put the
off and
torso on different.
exactly put like a different set of legs on there. A little bit more, you know, to my liking. But otherwise, I mean, like I love the detail on it, like the paint, you know, the paint's cool. One thing which would really, and this just goes back to my whole modularity stuff, like me, Hexastack modular, do what you want with it, kind of adjust it. There's that other toy line that just came out, or they were in the Kickstarter, maybe they're in like the backer kit phase right now or something. But they very much Darth Maul legs, or there's another one of those other characters out there that I've seen recently. But I don't know what line it was. I think maybe it was
Is it
what
the
is
ones
that?
that are the animals?
Yeah, they have like the Wolfson armor. There's like 4
Yeah,
characters.
those are Morphonauts.
Morphonauts. What I thought was cool
Yeah.
is they have like modular guns.
Yeah.
So like you can take parts off of the gun, which I thought was cool. So like the rifle,
Yep.
could become a short barrel, like machine gun type thing if you wanted, or like the other weapon that came with the other character, does the same thing. And what was
Oh yeah.
cool is I can take one part from one, which has got a different deco color. So you can get like more of a rustic
Oh yeah.
looking, tip portion. And then this one here doing the same thing, you can get this, and they kind of integrate. So like that modular gun system I thought was really
Yeah.
cool.
That's pretty cool
That
right there. That'd make a nice sniper rifle, that second
yeah.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Like so that was actually how it came in the package, but I just for whatever reason when I was playing around with it, I left it with the 2 different colors.
Yeah.
Yes, Morphonauts, that's the one. There. Acid Rain does have some really cool vehicles. So
Did
I
you get
did
the Jeep?
receive. No,
Did
I
you
didn't.
you didn't order the
No,
Jeep? No.
I held off. I didn't want to go full
Yeah.
Acid Rain. I
Which is
wanted to
crazy because
see.
that Jeep was less than most of the figures were.
Oh, it was absolutely. And here's the other thing. What I will tell you is from someone. So there's a guy out there who I met through AWalk. I think he works with them. He was at their booth last year. Made a good relationship with him. A while back, I saw he was trying to move some toys, many different lines and stuff. He had some Acid Rain, and I remembered it. So I reached out to him after I started getting in these. I was like, "Hey, do you still have some you're looking to move?" And to me, I didn't know the aftermarket on the Acid Rain is way more than the buy of retail, like the retail
Really?
pricing. Yeah, like when I didn't even check eBay. I didn't check the aftermarket. I just went to like, he had like 14, 15, 16 figures. You know, he had pictures. I circled the ones I wanted, and there was like ones that were like 100, ones that were 80, ones that were 75. Like, so I was like, ooh, I'm not buying all 15 of those because it's just, I don't have
Yeah.
$2,000 to spend on 15 figures. That's not happening. So
Yeah.
I was like picking and choosing and whatnot. So um I I will say that the after, like, get these if you can. If you're into them, you're going to want to get them when they're at retail, because that price, from what I'm seeing, is significantly increased when you go to the aftermarket on them.
So the acid rain though is probably a lot less production value, right? Or not value, but production size than
Oh,
Joy
like
Toy.
quantities, like
Yeah.
release. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. So I did get a few other ones. I haven't opened these, so we'll be opening these tonight. Um, if there's time and you want me to, I'll go
Oh
through
yeah,
each one of
definitely.
them. So yeah, I got these 3 other army builder figures. They're named characters. Like, I've got, last line of defense Nelson, last line of defense King Shielder Striker, and then last line of defense Bernardo. So there were a few of them that I liked. But there's a bunch of different things out there, with
So do
the
their
acid
boxes
rain.
have like yeah, do their boxes come with bios or anything on them?
Um, no, no. But we can open one.
Yeah, let's open one.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Oh, and yes,
Frat Red's got a question, and Frank has a question.
yeah, I definitely fell. Fell down a hole. A very, very deep one.
Yeah, he didn't even fall. He just kind of tripped and landed in it.
Exactly. So this is cool. I've never opened one of theirs. I love, as we've talked, right? I love the idea of some artwork, because you can do some stuff with this if you
Yeah.
want. They got really cool little artwork on their, their boxes.
Oh, it says a nice little sleeve. That's cool. Yeah.
There's it's like a hard shell plastic.
Oh,
Like,
that's
this is,
awesome. Yeah.
this is something you're not getting rid of. Like, you're going to hold on to this. It'd be good for, Dio stuff, world building. You probably use it as like a wall or something.
Use it as a wall. You could store all your extra shit in there.
Oh man, and they don't play around, right? Like, it's got that
got the foam in
it's
there.
got that soft foam. So take it out. Got 3 different packages here. But yeah, you got the foam. And what's interesting about this little case here is it's actually like, you got these little peg hole looking things where maybe you can, insert some stuff. I don't know. But like, then it looks like maybe they're stackable too.
Oh, they're stackable. Yeah, look at that.
So
That's definitely stackable.
yeah. So it's cool little piece. I mean, you're definitely paying for it. But so the main figure right here is Male. Just
he looks good.
Yeah. So I will say that the one thing I will say about the Acid Rain versus the Joy Toy, and let me get one of these Joy Toys out here so I'm not misleading anyone. From what I recall, like, yeah, so I feel like, and it may just be the designs of, like, say, the Joy Toy characters and the way that they have the armor embellished and stuff on their arms, things like that. They don't feel as, I guess maybe they're the same. The elbow joint is the same kind of thickness and whatnot. I guess it's about the same. But their bodies look a little less. They definitely look a little less thick.
Yeah, they're definitely not as bulky as the Joy Toys.
But I mean, and I will say the one thing that I love Joy Toy has the toe articulation.
Yeah.
Which, I'm just cheesy for liking some stuff like that, but this does not have the toe articulation. And the other thing I like about the Joy Toy, let me double check before I misspeak. Yeah, their foot articulation just seems to have a little bit more. I feel better about it. Feels like I won't snap it. You could do a little bit more with it. But overall, I mean, it's clean.
So is the Joy Toy got a rocker at the ankle?
I'd have to look up the.
That means it can kind of like pivot and turn at the same place.
So this one can too. Like, you can see, I can roll it on its ankle all the way. Yeah. So it has that whole rocker. I think what you're explaining.
Yeah, that's the rocker. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not just a hinge. The ones that I did before were very hinged, but they were like animalistic. So, and they may have been, actually, no, those are just obstructed because they have some things around their ankles. So the Acid Rain has the same ankle joint, but that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I guess you're right. Actually, as I'm holding one. And nope, that one has it. Yeah, everyone that I've got on there. Well, no, you're right. So this one right here does not have this Joy Toy that I have. One of the Army Builder ones, the $20 ones. They're
So that's
they do
probably
not.
what it is. Probably the $20 ones. They take out some articulation to
Yeah.
save on the pennies.
Yep, that would be like the likelihood. But again, I told you it felt a little bit cheaper. Didn't feel like it had the same oomph to it. But you know, the acid rain here, they definitely have, you know, most of the same articulation and points. One thing I will say that I find I like on the Joy Toy, well, Joy Toy has like all of these side things, right? Like they have all of these little accessory pieces looking like on them, like like things on their pouch and stuff. They look like they could be removable, but I found on one of them, and maybe some things are, some things aren't. It's you don't always know what is and what isn't removable. So like I have found that I've ripped some things off on one or two of my figures as I was, you know, thinking it was removable. You can see clearly on the acid rain ones these things are not removable. I just actually split him in half. That was very easy. So like a very easy, you know,
just a
waist
peg,
joint.
ball and peg.
Yeah, it's just a ball and peg. So if you wanted to, you know, pop and swap them, it's actually I didn't heat these up. I literally just opened them. So, you know, they're very easy to do that on. But I mean, generally speaking, I would say it's similar quality, similar articulation. One thing I will say is the Joy Toys tend to come with quite a bit of accessories that I found. You know, on the non low end ones.
Right.
So those Army Builder figures tend to be a little less on the accessories. I mean, I showed you that one character, the female that rides in the the mech. She has a mask that's like removable. This came with, and it's gonna be really hard to see here, but came with a little faceplate mask that you can put over the guy. Came with a little armlet for the wrist, and then it looks like some sort of part that you can maybe put on the other wrist or something. So I'll kind of just
that was in the acid rain in
that's in this
package.
That's in this one in one of the little bags that they came with, because it came with 3 bags. The character, it came with some armor accessories there, and then it came with the rest of his outfit, which I believe is like his backpack, and it looks to be some weapons, and maybe some grenades actually too. So and this weapon is modular too, which is really cool. I will show that in just a second. Came with a few different things here. So
while you're digging out, I'm just gonna shout out to Briscoe real quick. What's up, Briscoe?
Okay.
And so, Fat Red wants to know if you have any Marauders yet.
No, I don't have any Marauders. I don't have any of that. Didn't get into that yet. I don't know that I'm going to go down that rabbit hole. There's way too much stuff out there. And
well, with 1/18th though, I mean, like the nice thing about the 1/18th scale is that most of the figures, unless they're like the World War II, right, all can go together. I mean, like those guys you're opening right now would have no problem being in the same dio as even the Warhammer Joy Toy. Right?
Okay. Yep.
I mean, it's just, you know.
Exactly.
So if you got a Marauder or two, it wouldn't make a difference. You could stick it in the same dio.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So it looks like the two things that I got with in the one bag that I was showing you was his face mask, and then it looked like it was 2 armlets or whatever, those things that go around your wrist. Gauntlets. I don't know what I'm calling them. Yeah, they'd be gauntlets. So I'm just putting those on them right now, and I'll show that off here. Yeah, so I believe if I did these right, which knowing me, I probably didn't, but looks like so now you can see he's got the mask on, so he looks a lot different here.
And that goes right over his head.
It actually, it's just like
attaches to his helmet. Yeah,
it's a faceplate that goes in. Like you can kind of see the little sockets off to the side, almost like little breathing ports. Just goes right on and just kind of connects in there, and it sits in nice and clean. No issues there. And then there's the one gauntlet here, which looks like it's hold something, and then you have the other gauntlet, which is on the other side here.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then what came in the other pack is the same figure, But another accessory here is a little book bag here.
Oh, nice.
So then it came with what I thought was really cool gun.
Oh, definitely.
So
Yep. I like
nice
that.
one. And then again, the modularity, you pop that front barrel off, and now you have a short arm weapon.
Yep.
Or you could potentially, I'm assuming, if I really like the piece from the other one, nope, I guess it doesn't work with this one. It's a different design for the modular piece there. So the connectors don't work on that one, but I'd assume on some that they would have that ability. I also will point out that while this doesn't come with blast effects, there's definitely on the pistol, there's a small little nubbed out hole on the little pistol that you would be able to put a blast effect in if you had one that would fit it.
That'd be one fucking small blast effect.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Holy shit!
It looks like you could.
I mean, they probably make them, but I mean, damn.
Yeah, he also come with like what I assume is a
I dropped
baton.
that. I dropped the pistol blast effect from Valiverse, and I have to dig around on my carpet just to find the damn thing.
Oh yeah, he comes with a little baton item
Oh,
here,
nice.
which I believe goes into that little hoist underneath his arm. So on the gauntlet there, and then he came with something else. I'm not quite sure what this is. Some sort of shield or buckle or handle. I'm not quite sure. And then he came with some other piece here. Again, I got to look at the box and see what it came with. Oh, here it is. It tells you what it came with. No, it just shows you. It doesn't tell you what they are. But then it came with what I believe is a grenade, which is like this little tiny
Yeah, it looks like some type of grenade or landmine or something.
And then he came with a little knife here.
Nice.
A little Rambo knife or something. So, and he's got a spot to store the knife on his waist there. So you got a spot right there for that. Assuming this backpack thing goes on some way. I'm trying to figure out exactly how. Probably sets like that, maybe. Not quite sure how all this stuff connects, but there's supposed to be some connections here. He's got a bunch of stuff that looks like it's got. Oh, maybe that's that. I don't know. I got to play around with it and figure out what all these pieces do.
Yeah.
I can't exactly tell right off the top of my head, having never played with him. But, he's got a holster for the gun on the thigh.
So does Joy Toy come in a box too, or do they come on a bubble card?
So Joy Toy, some of them come in boxes. Nothing like this, though. Much more with a bubble. The ones like the larger ones come in like a box like this. This is the acid rain set, the 2-pack that I had.
Yeah.
But they come in a box like this where you just pull it out and it's got like that plastic, and you pop it out. Like most figurines. But they're cheaper end ones. Those Army Builder ones, they come on like a flat cardboard, with like a plastic shell, like a clamshell almost, that kind of wraps around it. So if you wanted to like reclose it, you potentially could.
Right.
But it's definitely, again, saving on packaging and stuff. It's not as I'm assuming,
so the Army Builders come on a bubble card that's collector friendly bubble card, as they call it.
Yes.
Put it back into the bubble card. Yeah.
Yep. So trying to figure out how all this stuff works, I will say relatively difficult because I don't know exactly what his stuff is all supposed to do. But he definitely has a bunch of little extra accessories here. And I like him. Like, I wouldn't say he's bad. He definitely fits in with my Joy Toys. And, I think, it's a cool character filler. There's some other ones out there that I like. From what I've seen, I don't know. There's definitely a few Acid Rain figures I would definitely get. But I don't know that they would be my core characters. I think the Joy Toys seem to have a little bit more character to them. And it might just be because the brighter colors and like my favorite ones being like these.
Yeah.
But there is that one character that I showed you before that I really liked, that once it's released, I'll likely get it. That Newman or whatever his name was that I thought looked really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
whatever his name was.
Now newer, I think it was Noor,
Newer,
NEUR or something like that. Is Noor. Yeah. So I mean, These are cool. I definitely. Oh, like the next one I have has a swappable head. Comes with hats. So this
Here's a
Nelson
question for you
character
from Fat Wrist.
is the foot size off-putting. Not on that one. He's got a smaller foot than the Warhammer 40K Joy Toys, like than this one. The non-humanoid ones, I would say, are definitely a different style foot. But like, just comparing, Warhammer versus Acid Rain. This is your Acid Rain. Your Warhammer one is a slightly larger foot. But then going with more of a traditional
You can definitely see the bulk difference in that.
Yeah, on
those
that
two.
one you can see the difference. But again, that goes back to my point earlier where I said the Warhammer Joy Toys are larger in like they just feel larger than even their counterparts of other
Yep.
lines that Joy Toy produces. But like just showing the difference here with the Acid Rain versus Joy Toy, you can kind of see, there's a
Definitely a little
difference.
longer.
Yeah. But again, this is a generic model versus, this character who is a more higher end,
Yep.
double price. But again, no, I wouldn't say much difference. It's varying scales in the feet, and I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you also, with the different size figures, you can actually have it set up like, real life, right? Like you were saying
Right.
about the wrestlers, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to have Rey Mysterio be the same size as Undertaker.
Exactly. Well, that's always been a thing for me. Like if I'm getting into this scale, I need to see that figures are bigger and smaller and that stuff. And that goes back to, I have this guy right here.
And that's the one nice thing I think Classified did well right off the bat. I think some of the figures were overscale, but like, making Roadblock and Gung Ho bigger than, Duke and Flint and all those guys, right? But I just wish they'd use the same neck fucking size as everybody else.
Oh yeah. Like here's two characters, right? This is not a 40K character. This is some other line that Joy Toy has here on my left hand here. And then you have the army guy from the Acid Rain, who, is definitely, a little bit smaller.
Yep.
So, there's scale variances in some of them. So, it's a unique world. But it's not one of those things where you're grabbing your He-Man who's 7 inches tall and he's standing next to a 5 foot, 5 foot tall human character who's also 7 inches tall.
Punk, you're such a dick.
Oh, this guy. Leave it to Punk.
Well, he's got little man complex. He's got to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Throw that ego around.
Oh, this is cool. I mean, you'll never get this in a mainline action figure release. I mean, not from what I've seen. Maybe Valaverse does, but I just opened this other one here, and he's smoking some sort of cigar here.
Nice.
His head. So, but this is another one. This like I will say, like opening this one up, I'm not a huge fan of the way his lower ankles are. Like you can clearly see like
definitely
that
like
joint.
Some kind of ball, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not a fan of that. That seems like a really cheap way of approaching the figure. Like unless
especially with all that detail on the legs and then on the boots, right? You'd think they'd do something better than that.
Yeah, I'd rather have like a full boot there, like without the articulation, than lose the what looks almost robotic. So, but yeah, I mean and again, I will say like without even trying, they come apart. So I will say their waist joints, that could be a concern to me because they do come apart so ungodly easy. Like I didn't have to do anything; I just turned the body and like the waist joint comes off. So I don't know how many more Acid Rain figures I'll get. There's some cool ones.
Yeah.
But my experience on what I've had with Joy Toy, I think I'd probably side with the Joy Toy so far.
Oz, no one is asking you to stand for us picking on Lawrence. You can go ahead and sit down. It's okay. We'll do it no matter which position you're in. You can lay down. We're still going to pick on Larry.
I mean, the guns are cool. They definitely do a cool job with the guns.
Yeah, from looking at what you showed right there, I mean, the Acid Rain looked good in pictures, but I definitely like a lot more of the characters designed, even the Army Builders designs from the Joy Toy than now the Acid Rain vehicles. Damn,
Yeah, I think that's the piece that I would look at is
Yeah,
I might look at a situation where obviously I can print some of my own vehicles, once that's all fixed and running. Sorry, I lost one of these pieces and I'm
that's all right.
trying to find it before I completely lose it.
Oz says he's giving Larry a step ladder so you don't have to, so you can look him in the eyes.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, he comes with some cool stuff. The heads are cool. Um, they this package came with what seems to be multitude of heads for it. So maybe this is like supposed to be some sort of army builder. So to try to get you to purchase multiple, like there's the head that's on it by default. Um, oh, that's cool. So that's not even a head. That's a mask. So they
So is that
have.
cigar molded right into his mouth?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's in there. That's not coming out unless you take it off. But I mean, it's very easy to swap things off. So you saw the first head on there.
yeah.
Um, came with another head here. So he's got like a ski mask looking one. And
Can you
then
show
they
that again?
also, yep. So like the Action Force Army Builder heads. And then it's also got the little
Oh,
hat
yep.
if you want
Okay.
it. But he also comes with,
I bet you the hat looks good on the regular
yeah,
head.
yeah. But then he also comes with a helmet that slips right over top.
Oh, very cool.
So you can slip it right over top. It fits good. A little bit of adjusting there. But then, it's got that open close feature, which is cool. But, and it makes the head stand out. Almost makes him look like he might be an android or something. Um, Not easy to get the heads out. I will say that just because the joints are so loose and they come off the body. Removing that headpiece or the mask could be a hassle. So just some things that I would be considerate of when dealing with
Yeah.
it, but I'll save that for later. But yeah, like if you were to throw that hat on Smoking John here,
Yeah, that looks good.
yeah,
I'd use that head
and
and that hat on a different body.
then the gun is cool, right? It's a little bit
Yeah.
different from the other one, but
That one's
also
got a
has
nice
that.
little hole for a blast effect too.
Yep, yep.
Look at that.
I don't see much modularity on what I have right here. I don't see anything that comes off that's readily.
But there's no blast effects with the figures, right?
No, there was no blast effects with the figures. No, not at all.
Hmm.
I don't know what this goes to. This comes with something. I don't even know what it's supposed to be.
What the hell is that?
Almost looks like something that would go over a thigh or a wrist, but this this guy's arms and stuff are too much. I don't know. Not sure. But he also came
Does it
with
go over his face like a face mask?
that's way too it's way too big.
Oh.
Or way too small. And then he comes with two of these
Oh,
little
nice.
pistols, and he has the side holsters on both sides of his hips. But again, I just trying to turn him and put his guns in his thighs. His the hip connection there at the waist completely disconnects.
So on the Joy Toy, is it easy to get the hips apart like that?
It's not the hip, it's the
Or I mean
waist
the
joint.
torso apart? Yeah, that's what I
I
meant.
haven't tried. I haven't even tried. I
Huh.
would look. I need to watch a video first
Yeah.
and verify
That's
what's
strange that they
possible with
pop
them.
so easily. I mean, even
Yeah,
for modularity, that's way too easy, right?
it's way too easy. Comes with like a little flashbang grenade here, and it's got a little latch on it that you can slip into like a spot on his back.
Oh,
So you
that's
put it
sweet.
there. He also comes with another head, and he came with two of those flash grenades, and he comes with this head. So this is a much different style head. It's like a zombie head or something, but I don't know if I
But
can
the
get it
way
in
he's
there.
designed, he definitely looks like he's supposed to be part robotic cyborg.
Yeah, and if this one doesn't really fit that well, but he's got like this.
Oh Jesus. It's
But I think you need to like. I think I really need to like pop off and take off this chest. I
yep.
think I need to take off the armor and stuff, like the coat or the vest. I get the jacket here. Remove that to put that head on because it doesn't sit in on that neck joint well inside there. Well, I guess it does if you do it that way, but you just can't see it, so it's a little bit harder to move around and stuff. But it comes with a little skull there. But I mean, I'm for what they are, they're decent, but I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't be running out to place a massive order for these.
Yeah.
Like, I actually might pull out on the ones that I was going to buy and just let them know, hey, I finally opened the humans. I think I'm going to hold off on those other ones.
Yeah.
As I'm not overly impressed with some of the joints and stuff on these newer ones. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
again, waste. Every time I do anything with a figure, his
I'll have
falling apart
to
is a
check
waste.
out some videos and see how people review the vehicles, because that's what I'm interested for Acid Rain.
Their vehicles are really cool. That may be the situation I'm in. I may just be focused on getting their world building aspect of it, because their world building stuff would work very very
for
clearly
sure.
with that. But like, again, like I put
Yeah,
this
that's just
together, and every time I move anything, I
yeah,
actually just went to make him flat and put him in the box that he came in, and that piece came apart. So
that's
um
definitely way too loose of a ball joint.
yeah. And I mean, I experienced it with one of the generic army builders that I got with the Joy Toys, the same one that Lawrence actually reviewed on his channel a while back.
The ones that like fell off.
Yeah, I have the same exact figure, and I have the same exact problem with it. So I experienced that already myself.
So that's probably a design flaw in that actual figure
It
itself.
it is. I looked at it, I took it apart, and I found that it is definitely it's definitely an unintentional design flaw that they have in it, that because of the way the joint is there, that mold or something, it's just not, it's not right.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So yeah, that's two of those ones. I got the other one I'm opening up here. You don't have to focus on
What's
me
up,
though.
Cobb?
I'll just keep kind of working on
Oh,
that.
Adam's here. Mr. Joy Toy figures have all been very solid, including the Army Builders.
Yeah. I have all of them. I have the whole series from this year, including like this guy here. He was good. I've got like this guy who's like a he actually has feet that are removable, so he's got like scuba gear. Yeah, sorry, trying to think about it. So he's got like the scuba gear equipment and stuff. I don't have it on him. I got this guy, like very modern warfare style looking military. This guy, like, no issues with any of these. Their joints all work good. It just is this guy right here, which it's funny because he makes me think of he actually makes me think of Tim Kennedy figure, the Dusty one there from the Valorverse, just because the dark blue shirt and the
it
tan
does
pants.
remind. Yeah, it looks like Duster.
So, but like, yeah, Duster, yeah, that's the one. But like, and that's the other thing that I like about the Joy Toy, which I don't find to be the case from what I'm seeing on the Acid Rain, that like the hip harness and stuff, that's all removable on these Joy Toy. I don't think that's the case on a lot of the Acid Rain stuff. But again, what I will point out is that with the Joy Toy, you don't always know which pieces are actually removable unless you look really close, because you may end up pulling off like a grenade that you think is removable. But this one right here is the same one that Lawrence had an issue with, and it's because the T piece here, because I've taken the whole thing apart here. I've taken the whole like crotch area off of this one, I guess, actually, and I can't get it off right now because it's stuck. Probably need to heat it up again. But basically, oh, there it is. Basically, what happened with this one is I just don't think it sits properly. It looks like it's balanced correctly, but I think what happens is, if you look closely on this one and that one, this is the one that has trouble. I think I just need to take like the circular Dremel bit that I have and kind of gore this out a little bit, because I think the plastic mold on it, it's just too tight. So what happens
it doesn't
is,
look like it's the same size hole as the other leg.
exactly. Sure. So what I think happens is, I just don't think it sits in properly. So I think when they injected this one, that mold is off or something, and just has an issue. But like you were asking before, like this, I've never even taken this ball joint out of his waist. I don't know how hard it would be to get in and out of it. But I do
Adam
know
said
that
they're definitely good for swaps. So
oh yeah, they're clean. Like, you can definitely do a bunch with these things and whatnot. I've seen some. Oh, cool. Hey, the one that we care about from Michigan, right?
Yeah, the guy we tune in on Monday for.
Exactly. And then, the thing with Joy Toy that I like is that they have a number of different lines. Oh, yeah. Have fun, Adam, you jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're sharing previews, don't be rubbing it in our
Yeah.
face, bud.
Yeah. Just rub it in and leave. That's okay. It's all good. Just,
Man, that AWOC Kickstarter is going to be freaking awesome, and some of the things that I think that were like huge, and I think it's tremendous that they're going this direction. Is one of the only things I heard about the AWOCs, and I hate to diverge off the 118, but with Adam mentioning that, with the AWOCs that I think is impressive. I was listening to them talk the other day, is that everything that they all work so hard over at the AWOC. You could tell, right? Like
right.
they're in the chats, they're moving product, they're trying to get all that out. One of the big things that I saw people complaining is they weren't getting their packages, and I'm pretty sure that's how Adam got involved as far as like working with them is helping them with that customer service side of
Yeah.
things. He resolved an issue for them, and was easy to deal with, but not everybody's as patient as maybe myself or others that were understanding of the circumstance. But this time for their Kickstarter, one of the things that they mentioned is they're going to use a third party. So all of that, everything purchased through the Kickstarter, done one in our side products.
They're doing a Kickstarter on their
they're doing a series 2. I would say to go watch the Kato. If you want all the insight to it, Punk, check out the Kato show from Saturday over the weekend. He had Jason on, and then Adam jumped in too, and they went over the whole thing. But I think they said like 8 new figures, and there's more, and that we haven't released. They mentioned something along the lines of like one of those what's that thing you get at Christmas when you peel open the thing once a day?
Advent calendar.
Yeah, they mentioned like the Kickstarter being like an advent calendar type approach in some ways, but like they said that for an all-in, all tiers is like somewhere in between 600 and 700, somewhere in that range. I don't remember the exact number, but that's for an all-in with quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
So what they did was they had the waves that they released already. That's what they're calling Series 1, and then they're calling this next Kickstarter Series 2, which some things I believe have already gone to tooling. They've already been doing some tooling. When the Chinese New Year ends, they've got a couple other items going to tooling right after that, from what they were saying on the Kato show. And
so are those bigger bucks we saw at PowerCon going to be in Series 2?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think everything that we saw at PowerCon is part of Series 2, which will be waves 5, 6, 7, whatever that ends up being. I don't know exactly how they're breaking it down.
Liked the regular hyena or wolf, whatever the hell that dog thing was, not the void with the robotic arm, but they had like
right.
They had like
the regular. He comes in the Warriors though, right?
Yeah.
He comes in. I think he comes in wave 4 as part of like the Gladiator series.
Yeah.
So that's not one of them. The ones that they were showing, and there's some that they did like shadow pictures of, but they had quite a bit. They showed the bunny. They showed the female bucks. They showed the lion there. I think it was the bulkier lion, and the way Jason mentioned it is like you have like the Hulk buck, which is like Fang, I think is what he was referring. That's like the Hulk buck. Yeah. And then you have a bruiser buck, which is kind of in between the Hulk buck and the pale size one, which is like your standard. So you have your standard buck, you have your kind of brute buck, and then you have or maybe it's Hulk buck and then brute buck. I don't know exactly what they're calling.
I think the brute one is the middle one, because I think that lion we saw, which was supposed to be Atreyu's father, I believe, at PowerCon,
yes, yep,
was something to do with brute.
Okay, yeah, so that would be the brute buck then.
Yeah.
Then if that's, and he talks about it all on Saturday.
Yeah.
During that show.
I'm really looking forward to the hyena and the lizard though. But yeah,
the lizards will be in that, and it's some cool stuff from the looks of it.
You got to think that with the new size buck and then female bucks, right? That's all new tooling, because basically there's 3, Thane, Tanger, and then whatever the gray dude was called. That was basically Thane and gray, right?
Oh, it was a brute. It was called the brute. It was the horde brute, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So they are, one buck, and then every other character was the same buck, different feet and different heads, and that was the only difference with any of the characters, right?
Yeah, this one they said that there's like I thought they said, and don't quote me on this, but I think they said there's like 8 animal types in this next series. So
that's what I'm saying, right? There's a whole new whole new set of tooling that's got to be done for
Exactly.
different
It's a
body
lot of
sizes and
Exactly. It's a
so
lot of tooling for it. They said that the pricing, if I recall, is going to follow the same pricing that they have, where it's still cheaper to get it through the Kickstarter. It'll all be third party delivered, so you don't have. So they hopefully won't have
yeah,
anywhere near the delivery
lost
issues
shipments
and
or
stuff.
whatever. Yeah,
Exactly, all those concerns people were worried about last time. Hopefully, and then they can focus on just producing the product and putting together the best product. I know that they talked about a
well, it
story.
didn't help either. I don't think because like Adam really didn't get involved in doing that customer service until you know,
Power Conish.
yeah, maybe a little bit before that. But that series,
Yeah.
the AWOC had been out and the Kickstarter over for quite some time by the time
Right.
Adam got involved. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
for people that hadn't got their Kickstarter packages, you can kind of understand why they were upset, right? But
Oh yeah.
Jason was,
Absolutely.
Jason wasn't set up for it with his resources, let's say, right? I mean, it was
Yeah.
just,
It was a lot to take on. I couldn't
yeah.
imagine
Oh yeah.
like with Hexastack having, if my Kickstarter backed and I had to deliver that stuff, it would have been relatively easy because I was producing it in all house.
Right.
It was my own boxes. It was what, 4 different types of units. I just got to
Right.
check the box with what he was dealing with. He's dealing with a bunch of different figures. He's dealing with accessories. He's dealing with
Yeah.
weapons, all that stuff. Oh, and the other thing that Adam mentioned was that he was very much pointing out that in series one, when we refer to series one, where we're talking about all of the waves from the first Kickstarter and up until this next Kickstarter is essentially series one. So all of those were predominantly around axe and swords and
Yep.
kind of like a, hand-to-hand combat. It didn't really take advantage of the technology aspect of the series, which Adam alluded to, and Jason alluded to, focusing a bit more on non-sword and
There was only
axe
what?
weapons.
The one cat figure had a gun, right? And then
Yeah.
what's his name? The blue dude, the blue monkey dude. Drawing a blank on his name.
Kali.
Kali, yes, he had
Yep.
that like pistol.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, like the retro kind of
like pistol.
cyberpunk type.
Yeah, kind of looking like a pirate gun pistol.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then one of them had a crossbow, right?
exactly.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So I know that they're focusing on that, and if I'm thinking about the right thing, or no, I might be mixing up with Mythic Legions. Yeah, I think I'm mixing up with Mythic Legion stuff that I saw the other day. Yeah, they definitely talked about weapons and stuff being a big piece, but from the sounds of it, like it's going to be a really cool wave or series. And again, I think once they get that, you now, like you said, right, you're gonna have the female buck, you're gonna have the bunny buck, you're gonna have the the lizard buck, you're gonna have the brute buck type thing. You're gonna have a number of additional bodies that now, and they even talked about it on the Cato show, is that they get these bucks out, maybe one more series after that, or maybe after this, you're able to look and go, okay, look through the comic, and this is the example I think Cato gave, is you're going to be looking through the comic, and now you've got you've got a character who you look at and you go, oh, you know what, I could fit this body with this leg and this assortment of accessories of something that's already been built, and just get a new head sculpt or something, and now you're not so much necessarily having to pivot towards the Kickstarter approach. So really looking forward to that. And for me, every time I get a freaking box delivered to my door, and I told this to Jason the other day when I was talking to him, was that every time I get a box delivered to my house, it's hey, is that new AWOC, Dad? Is that new AWOC? You got more AWOC? No, bud. We're, and every time we're in the basement, because my basement's half factory, half, space for him to hang out and the kids to do stuff and TV and whatnot. He's got right now currently all the AWOCs, Mythic Legions, Cosmics, all kind of grouped together playing with, and doing that, he basically sorry, I saw what Punk said and I want to respond to that in a second, but basically, he's always down there. Hey, Dad, you got any more AWOCs coming? Is that AWOCs over there?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Punk, I definitely side with that same thing. And when I first heard that he was doing a Kickstarter, I was really surprised. And again, I haven't had conversations with him, Adam, or anyone over there about why they're doing a Kickstarter. And I don't recall if he said exactly why he's doing a Kickstarter again this time. With the success of the first one, my guess is, just knowing, what was publicly, seen, where people were complaining about the shipments and things like that. And me personally knowing what goes into tooling and the cost of tooling, with the amount of additional tooling on this, I would assume that, like, just look at Valor, right? And this isn't me bagging on him by any sense, because I love what he's done with the product and stuff. But like with the Valaverse stuff, he's come out with how many series of the same buck over and over and over again? How many new figures has he come out with that were not that are using the same buck? The you know the AWOC ones they haven't had as many series and many releases of it, and I don't think they have as much visibility as the Valaverse product does. So I imagine if you were looking at a unit sold situation and whatnot from AWOC versus
Yeah,
Valaverse.
I would definitely agree that AWOC did not have as big of a market share as
Yeah.
Valaverse did, because
Well,
Valaverse was taking some of the classified customers,
oh
right?
yeah. Well,
And then
if
on
they weren't
top of that,
if
they were
sorry, go ahead.
adding to, they were also taking customers that were adding to their classified, right? So they had
Hey,
that
that's how they
whole
got me,
thing.
right?
Right?
That's
Yeah.
how I came across the
Yep.
Valaverse
Me
is I
too.
came across the Valaverse because I was looking for something because I started seeing the Joes in the store, some of them, but
Yep.
I was like, man, I don't like these movie ones, right? Like I want other things like
Yeah.
and hey, what other 112 scale, army bird? I came across Valaverse. This is perfect for what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And then, so they gained a customer in me just because of the
You weren't in on the Kickstarter though, right?
I never got in on the
Right. You
Kickstarter.
got in at the same time I did, like when Series 2 was launching, right?
I got in right when he received series, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before series 1 came in
Oh,
stock and
okay.
started shipping. So I was able to, as soon as he filled his orders and he went online with a site to sell them, I was able to get
Okay.
all the original figures and
All
get
right.
them
So you
all
got
on
in
my
on
own.
Series 1. I didn't
Yeah.
find them until I think Series 2 was just getting like pre-order when I got in on it.
Yeah. So I think I definitely pre-ordered series 2 because that was Sergeant Slaughter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Slaughter was in series 2. I was able to order
Yeah.
that. So I mean, I think yes, both toys, right? Both independent toy lines,
Yeah.
but I think Valaverse had I think Valaverse's line definitely you know had a situation where they had exactly Adam. That's what I said, right? The tooling is very expensive, and from
Oh
my
yeah.
understanding, you have a ton of different molds. I mean,
Yep.
just for the Hexa stack stands, right? The tooling to get that done is really expensive, and those are just freaking hexagons, right?
Right.
You're not talking about moving pieces. You're not talking about
Oh yeah.
all of the pieces that go into a 20 something plus point articulated figure. So the tooling is expensive, and my guess is that Valaverse, perfect place, perfect time. His stuff came in right in the midst of a drought at the stores. He was able to piggyback off of some less and
Well,
this isn't saying his is bad, but he was in a perfect storm, right?
that's the other
Classified
good thing,
wasn't
right? Is when
delivering.
when Vala first launched Action Force, there wasn't the mass amount of 1/12 scale figures that have come out over the last 2 years, right? I mean,
Yep,
it was starting to build up, but he got in right at the right time, right?
exactly.
The other
Well,
thing
and
is,
there was a gap, right?
right,
Like, sorry, just to piggyback off that, right? Like one of the things, like Punk, right? He had some Action Force that he was into, and or maybe he got them given to him, something like that. But there was other people who got into Action Force to fill gaps. But as
right,
Classified has upped their game, they've shifted away from the Action
yep,
Force because Classified's up the game and the quality's there, right?
yeah,
So because that quality's there and they're getting some of the retro feel, but still getting current day, art,
right,
deco stuff, people are shifting away from, pulling in a ton of the Action Force. So at the time, is Perfect Storm is able to fill a gap that wasn't being provided locally in
yep.
a store. So, and yeah, uniformity, the
This
Bucks are very
this is
similar.
this account I got up here is exactly what I told you last week when me and I were chatting about how,
Yep.
like, when AWOC gets to the new characters, right? The hyena and the lizard and the bunny and the females, right? You'll see a huge blow up of AWOC because, yes, the cats and the monkeys are cool, especially for me because I love the whole gorilla thing because I'm a huge
100%.
Planet of the Apes fan.
Yep.
But like,
Exactly.
they're still all gorillas and all apes, right? And a lot of
Yep.
people don't like that kind of limitation, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't knock the quality of the figures because they're just fucking amazing, right? The quality of the articulation and the way you compose them and paint apps and all that, but it's still all cats and monkeys, right? So I think
Yeah.
when people see what's coming, as far as the different buck sizes and the different animals that are coming out with the new series, it's going to blow back up.
Well, and then here's the other thing, right? Like when an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom did their Kickstarter, right? I'm just checking something. They hit their funding and they hit about 360,000. Like they only had two types of bucks, right? Look at what basically what look at what Savage Crucible just did. They hit like almost like 600, 700,000, and they're delivering more bucks, right? So the difference is that you had one company come out, and I think they're more comparable in the sense of what type of product they're, the market, right? It's more
Yeah.
that mythic, fantasy genre versus military, right? Where you're going to have very unique bucks and styles. So if you look at it in the sense that, the Spiro first release, the Primal series there, they did 360. Savage Crucible did double that, and they have double the bucks, right? And I
Right.
mean that makes
The other
sense,
thing
right?
is with AWOC, right? Like AWOC, it's just like your son, right? Loves the AWOC. But if you look at
100%.
the AWOC, right, as an adult collector, they're very, very cool, right?
Yeah.
But I can also see with the bright colors and the stylized and anthropomorphic design that they
Yep.
have, a lot of collectors probably saw them as something that was more directed towards younger collectors, just
Like
because
the
of that.
Thundercats or
Right.
like
Right, exactly. Because if you look at like the Savage Crucible, like you said, it's a similar type of feel to it. Those characters are a little more dark, quote
Yep.
unquote.
Oh yeah.
So I think, with the AWOC, like now that you got the Void coming out, right? The Void is, a dark looking character.
Yep.
So I think that will help AWOC as well.
Yeah, I think there's a few things, right? I think one, getting the mythos out there more. This next Kickstarter, hopefully, one, they've shown that, here's the other thing, right? And again, I'm very much so like, I'm not a huge fan of Kickstarter, right? I'm not a huge fan of social crowdfunding, right?
Right.
At a corporate level, like a company that's already established. What we've seen from AWOC is we've seen him deliver, right? We've seen him deliver a quality product, one that, like even Punk, right? Like, hey, this is something you can put in your kid's hand and you don't have to worry about them breaking it, right?
Exactly.
Like I don't feel that concern. So, we've seen successful delivery of our product through the Kickstarter. So yes, and again, my initial thing was, darn, another Kickstarter, he just had a really successful one. But when you think about the logistics, the tooling and whatnot that goes into it, and what he's bringing, or at least what's been defined as part of this next series, I think that Kickstarter is going to be really cool. I'm all in. I told Adam as soon as I watched it, as I was watching the video, I was like, dude, hey, Adam, I'm watching this. Congratulations on being a part of AWOC. And two, I'm all in on all tiers for AWOC. Like,
I don't think it's going to hurt anything for them to do a second Kickstarter. I mean, in today's world, right? We have Mattel and Hasbro, the two biggest toy companies in the world. Whether they call it Hasbro, whatever, or whatever Mattel calls it, it's still a Kickstarter.
Mattel Creations, yep.
Mattel Creations. It's still a Kickstarter. They can call it whatever they want. It's still a Kickstarter.
It's crowdfunded, purchases.
Yep. So I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. And like Adam's saying, when they show what they're offering in the new series, I think it's going to blow up and be, absolutely
100%.
Especially with the price of them, right? Because the AWOCs, for the price you pay for an AWOC figure, I mean, the Ancients were what, $20? I mean,
yeah,
they weren't
expensive.
Like that.
And I didn't. That's another one. I didn't get into their Kickstarter, right? Like I didn't get in on their Kickstarter. I was just a little too late into the finding out about them and stuff. So I had to go ahead and get them all from Luckily, Helidope got them before other places, so I was able to get them filled where I wanted.
Well, that's what I did, right? I bought the ape and the burgundy or maroon colored armor. I can't, whatever the hell he is. The guard dude, right? I bought him because I just wanted to see what the figures were like, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I got him, I was like, oh, this thing is just awesome, right?
They're
then, of
awesome.
course, by the time I went back to Helidope, half of them were already sold out. I was like, some bitch.
Well, like here's an example, with the AWOCs, right? And I know we completely deviated off the 118th for a second, but with the AWOCs, right? I went all in plus a second round of Wave 1 on Savage Crucible because of AWOC. Because of the success of AWOC and the quality of product that they put out there, and what I saw in comparison to what Savage Crucible was bringing to the table, I was like, "Ooh, these are cool characters." And I don't know where AWOC's going to go. I hope they go to explore them, but they look together. I don't know if it was D-Mazing or some other person who had done the reviews, but I talked to Jeremy and was like, "Hey, Jeremy, do you think these will scale with the AWOCs well?" And he's like, "Oh, I think they'll be fine." He's like, "Check out some videos and stuff, and
I know
there's some reviews."
does a lot of comparisons, like between Mythic Basic and Savage and AWOC and
exactly.
all them
So
guys.
like, I mean, the AWOC sold me on going all in on that. Or the AWOC got me in. I mean, I spent $1,200 on freaking Savage Crucible crap. I say crap. I mean that in the best way I
Yeah.
possibly can. Like Savage Crucible product. And it was just because I wanted them to work with my AWOCs. So the fact that I'm getting additional AWOCs, I'm really excited about. So yeah, I question that too, Punk. It's not live yet, dude. I think
Yeah.
they're launching it soon. I would say if you want to see what they're talking about and what I was mentioning, again, because I have no representation to a walk. I'm just sharing the information that was, shared on Cato's show on Saturday.
Did they
He had
sticking with the AWOC Spiro Toys thing? Did they mention the Bushido line at all?
that one's not going to be kickstarted. I did remember him saying that because that was just two figures. No, there's like not a lot of tooling,
Okay,
outside of
good.
that. So like example, right? Because of that one, he's able to come out with that one. And I believe and again, I hope I'm not misspeaking here, but I think what they said on that show was that they will not be doing a Kickstarter for Bushido.
Right.
They're going
So
to be funding
starting
that
a
on their
second
own.
IP with what they made from
Exactly.
AWOC.
So they're doing that one on their own.
Good for them.
The AWOC, because of the size and what they're bringing to market with through that, I believe, they're going the route of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Brick is, I would actually say yes. Brick is someone you can talk about it. I don't know if he's employed by them or what his relationship with them is. I know he likes the product probably as much, if not more than I do.
Right.
He has that show, but I would say that Adam highly
right here is the
articulated,
guy.
is probably. I mean, he came on the show. He was a
Yeah.
late invite, I think, to Cato's show on Saturday, but he was introduced and he was actually answering probably as many questions as Jason was himself during that show. So definitely Adam and those guys over at that AWOC would be able to tell you the most. Side note, while we were doing that, kind of pivot back to the 118 if you want.
Let's pivot back.
Who we're talking about. So I opened up the third one, and similar to what we saw before, with the female mech figure there, the mask is removable, and it slides right on over the head. It's the face mask piece where
But
it's
that's Acid Rain, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Acid Rain has done that too, pretty successfully. So it's pretty cool. But you have the mask, so slides right over top.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah.
I will say that the one, I think I put that upside down, but the one that they have on the female on Joy Toy is cleaner. I like it. I like the way it sits a little bit better because it has like a V strap on the back, so it's got two, and it separates so you can get a high and a low support on it. Whereas this one's just a single, but still, it's clean. But again, I think I'm actually, I'm not all in on the Acid Rain figures. So, well, I don't have a lot to say negatively about him. Like they did better on his feet. Like you don't have that weird exposed toy piece, I'll say that I prefer the Joy Toy, I think, overall. But I do like their modular weapons and stuff. So
yeah. Now, when we were looking through Acid Rain the other day, do they have like weapons packs and stuff? I know they had that vehicle sets, and then they had some like
I didn't see weapons packs from them, but I did see a bunch of weapons. I opened it up before we got online tonight to take a look. They have some mechs. Most of their mechs, if I recall, are more they're not like the human holding mechs, right? They
just have the mechs that are like robotic.
Exactly.
Mechs. Yeah.
Yep. But they have a lot of bikes, a lot of like vehicle things, but you're talking $60 something for a little motorcycle.
Yeah.
They've got what's this other one?
That bike I got off a Joy Toy for my birthday present.
Oh yeah.
Was $26 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was on their big sale that they were having.
That was you got that direct, right?
Yeah. Yep. Payne, good to see that you survived another driving training for your kid.
Oh, that's what he's sorry for. He's sorry he's putting them on the road with us. I got you. I wasn't following. I'm like, sorry for us. I'm having fun talking toys. So, and AWOC got brought up. So, I mean, I'm all
Yeah.
about that stuff. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna roll with for the most part. I think I'm gonna stick with my
Joy
Joy
Toys.
Toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Joy Toys got a wide range of figures. They have their, they have their basic army, the military lines.
Yeah.
They have a few other lines that I think are interesting. I did see one that's out there that it's called Planet Green Valley. I think somebody mentioned. Um,
So Joy Toy has play sets.
Joy Toy does. Yeah, if you go to Google or if you go to Amazon and you check it out, they have like a very click together, like they have like a little warehouse and stuff.
Oh, really cool.
Oh yeah, they've got like prefab stuff that you can get.
Yeah.
That's really cool looking. I actually first found um, I first found Joy Toy when I was looking to purchase a 1/12 scale kind of jumpsuit fabric that I could use for some action figures for some stuff that I wanted to do in a story. And I was looking for them probably a year and a half ago, and I kept coming across on Amazon a like 5 or 6 pack of Joy Toy where it looked like they were mechanics, and they were like orange or red mechanic suits, and
Yeah.
then they have a gray set in Joy Toy, but they tie to like kind of like a garage crew, and they have additional they have like an additional warehouse type garage that they have and some other stuff, kind of like
So
the
what?
the thing you were showing me with like the ladders and stuff next to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have some of that too. One of the things I will point out about Acid Rain is they also, so I think they're brought to you by like a company called Toys Alliance. They also have another group or another line that's like, I don't know how it's tied to Acid Rain, but it's called Annex, and that's a 1/18 scale too, but it's much more like Space Odyssey, like
Oh yeah.
brains in
Yeah, I
things,
saw that. Yeah.
more colorful, but it's
Yeah.
Acid Rain. I think it's somehow
Well, they
tied.
call it Acid Rain World, so I guess that makes sense that it could
Okay.
incorporate the whole thing, right?
Yes, I don't know. I don't know if those are different articulations or if like I don't know the difference in them, but like they have some that look kind of cool there too. But they look a little bit more grungy. They have some vehicles in those and stuff. But yeah, more cyberpunk Fat Red. That's definitely the case. I plan to sell my 40K miniatures if Cavill's 40K show kicks off well. Oh, is that a TV show that's coming out?
Yeah, Henry Cavill is a huge 40 Warhammer fan, and he's coming out with a
Okay.
series. Um,
Live
of
action or like?
Yeah, yep, he's coming out.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean I don't see um I don't see so much play sets in that. I see vehicles, but their vehicle play sets like that they have are really cool. They have that SUV, and actually I did just see a weapons pack. They do have like a $32 cyberpunk looking record weapons pack on Big Bad for that. It's about $32, comes with like 5 or 6 weapons. Um but yeah. So they do have a couple different things. They have some exo armor skeletons you can buy, things like that. So I guess they do have that, but they have that, you know, they have different like little jeeps, and they've got those bigger SUV look, not SUV, but the bigger military convoy transports.
The Rover things. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are
those are
freaking
cool.
badass.
Yeah.
I had that saved, so if it ever goes on sale, I'm gonna
Yep.
grab that.
Yeah, it's on pre-orders right now.
Yeah,
So they're $150.
I
So it's
know.
like, yeah. I mean, like at
Like you
this
said,
point,
right? With your 3D printing, you could print something very similar, right?
right.
That.
Yep. Yep. And like, yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like that one that I showed you the other day, that I already purchased the files for, like, and I started printing on the FDM a while back. But then I stopped because I moved away from FDM printing and focused on Hexastack stuff. But I actually did talk to the gentleman that created it, and he and I have discussed the ability to sell them. Because he sells the files, he doesn't sell the building of them, because he said it got very tedious and became more of a headache to try to produce them on his own. So he just said he would sell them, sell the file, let other people produce them. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
people out there that don't have 3D printers. Also, I feel like Lawrence's missed opportunities. Travis Fun should be long. Yeah, he should be calling me, like if he really wants to have fun with it.
Here's one for you.
Now that you have the Revy point, you can scan and print if you can break one down. Yeah, so actually it's funny you say that. I think Brick had posted something on Instagram from his video that he did like a week or two ago, and there was a guy who had created some really cool. I didn't realize that he'd made it out of like foam board. Um, so I saw the guy. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, so this guy named Julius Downey, he had created this right here. Do you mind if I share my screen for a
Oh,
second?
share away, dude. You know I don't care.
Yeah. So I saw this originally. Brick had shared it. Um,
Was
it's
this on
112.
his Bricks News on Sunday?
Yeah, I think Brick's News, one of the episodes that he had it on. He wanted to show
Oh
it
yeah,
off.
he had this on last week with that. What the hell is that girl's name he was showing that off with?
Yep. Yeah. So it's like a
So this
112.
this is built out of styrene. Okay, so
Yeah.
styrene is basically plastic. Is just the same plastic that, like, if you go to a Testers, and buy a model
Oh.
56 Chevy, it's the same plastic, and you
Okay.
can glue this together with. You actually, to do it correctly, you weld the plastic together with a special chemical,
Okay.
and it actually melts the plastic together. So it's like
Gotcha.
once it's bonded, good luck getting it apart, right?
Okay.
It's like
So that makes
solid.
sense.
I used to build
So that makes sense.
custom RC cars out of this stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. He had like,
He put some
this
serious
video.
detail into this. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like
it's
there's
awesome.
there's some real solid things that he did with this, like roofs and
Yep.
stuff. So,
Yeah.
me and just going back to Aaron's thing, hey, you got
Yeah,
that
see,
scanner.
that's the type of hinge I was trying to tell Ted to put on his dumpster. Just two
Oh,
circles and then a pin through the middle of it.
gotcha.
Simple.
So I tried reaching out to this guy because I had messaged him like, hey, I'd love to get one of these. Can you, do you sell the STL file? And he's like, oh no, he's like, this is handmade. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, great work. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
I
guess it
messaged
took
him.
them, I think Bricks had like a year and a half or 3 years or something. I think it was some crazy amount, right? I think
That's
Bricks had 3 years or something like that.
that's insane.
But
It's
when I
great.
used to
It's a
build when I used to
masterpiece.
build RC bodies out of that stuff, it was just a shell. Maybe a really basic interior, but most of the time it was just the shell of a truck body. And I
Okay.
I always built like old trucks, so it was like the square old 70s Dodges and the square old 70s Chevys. There were so it wasn't that difficult, but with all
Wow.
the
So
detail he's got, it's crazy, right?
he started this in late 2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has
So
been a long,
yeah.
slow, tedious process to
Yep.
bring that to production. Yeah. So I actually had messaged him and I was like, hey, I have a 3D scanner. Like, if this thing could be broken down, is there a potential, for you to, if I wanted to, purchase one from you, for you to, put together for me? And then what I would do is I would scan it and we'd work something out where we both benefit, right?
Yeah.
Because I have the full 3D scanner and I can scan
Yeah.
all of those parts. But now that you're telling me it's like a fused together plastic, I couldn't imagine.
No, you never. You
Yeah.
don't get it apart. It's solid.
Yep.
Like I said, it ends up being just like a actual Tester's model or Revell, whatever model company you're going to go to. That plastic shell
Yep.
is made out of the same stuff. And what you do
Yep.
is, like, if you are trying to glue two pieces like this together, right? Two flat pieces, you just put a little bit of that chemical stuff on the seam. You remember the orange Tester's model glue?
Yep.
How like it would make the plastic kind of melt?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it does. So then you just hold the
Yeah.
two pieces together and it actually welds
It's
the
almost
plastic together.
it's almost
So
like using resin when you want to
yeah,
refix a resin part.
yep,
You take some
exactly. That's all
resin,
it
you
is.
cure
Yep,
it, and it just melts. It causes that
yep.
bond. So that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't realize that's what he had done with it.
What's up,
I knew it
Largo?
was. Oh, nice. I realized that was handmade, and I'm like, man, like, to the point where he's got like gun holders inside the doors. I'm like, this would be a massive
Yeah,
seller if you could
yeah,
reproduce this. But
yeah.
that makes sense. But the one that I did show that I do have the STL files for, I am in touch with the guy who designed them because it is for personal use only. But I have connected with him on Facebook and we've been chatting. He told me, hey, if it's something you're interested in, let me know. And we could come up with something for me to be able to resell it.
Yeah.
He would just need, he told me, you may want to give this a full go on your own, and see. And he also said, give it a shot because his files are intended for FDM printing, whereas I'd be printing it on the resin
Resin.
printing.
Yeah.
Um, Originally, I was only ever going to build it on the FDM because I was building it for 1/12. But going back to the whole point of this show was 118 world building, having that ability to create and have things like vehicles or mechs to scale with your other toys, and being able to world build the whole thing. Having that 1/18th scale, I could actually print those with ease on my larger scale printers, and I could have my smaller printers run off the smaller parts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, based on the amount of parts and stuff that I saw, that I could
Do you think
likely
you could
print
get
off.
on one of your big printers?
I know I could get the larger parts on my big printers based on I've opened the
Right.
file up into my my slicers, and I've opened the files in there, and on my larger scale printers I can get the 1/18th scale to fit on my bigger ones.
But you could
And
put
then
what I was going to say is, can you put like like you said, that body comes in like, I don't know, a crazy amount of pieces,
pieces.
right?
Yep.
So could you, in the model shop, put them together, then print a bigger section in
Oh,
1/18th?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I haven't
Because that would
tried.
be the way to do it, right? Is
Well,
join the
it's
pieces in the model builder, because then you're still going to have to glue it all together.
it really, I would have to think about it, right? Like, because part of it's, if what if it fails, right? Now I have a larger piece that failed in the midst of it, so it took more time, wasted more resin.
Right.
Doing
Yeah,
it in
that's
the
true. Yeah.
smaller pieces, if everything goes well, that's better. And if
Yeah.
one piece doesn't print properly, I'm only, rerunning a portion of it.
Yeah.
And in
Exactly.
the way it did, it was in fours, so I know I could fit one piece on each of my printers, so I could
Oh,
run
so it's
probably
only in
within.
force. The main chassis body part's only in force.
I won't, Largo. I will not be at DFW this year, brother. Or Joe Fest. Joe Fest was sold out of booths when I looked last year. I want to say in like October, I
Yeah.
looked, and Joe Fest was sold out. And DFW, I mean,
Joe
there's
Fest
always a.
actually opened up a second section of the hotel to
Oh, I
because
didn't
they
know
got
that.
so many people. But I think a lot of bigger shows or bigger places are companies are going there because there's no PowerCon, right?
Yeah, I think
So
that's
like
probably going to
Mythic
be.
and
Yep.
Savage are probably going there because there's no PowerCon this year.
Yeah. Well, wasn't AWOC? Weren't they already at Joe Fest last year?
I don't know that for sure.
I thought they were. I could
I
be
think somebody
wrong.
said they were, so that sounds accurate.
I
But
thought I mean, they were making they were making the tour. They were making the towns, as they say in pro
yeah,
wrestling. They were
I
making
mean,
towns.
I don't, Mythic Legions wasn't, and Savage Crucible definitely wasn't. Those are going to
Yeah.
be two big, big booths. I look at how big the PowerCon booth for
Oh, Savage.
Mythic Legion and Savage was,
Oh
right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I imagine those fests are, especially now that there's been that divide, right? And Vala has brought his booth to
yeah.
DFW, has definitely added some prestige and a lot of fan attention to that one. So for those people that are dedicated to the Vala Action Force line
But
versus the classified.
the Joe Fest and the DFW show, right? And Joe Lanta in Atlanta, which is Toy Lanta, but it also got called Joe Lanta. Those are three. And then there's Kentuckiana, right? Which is the Joe show in
And
Kentucky.
there's one in Iowa too, right?
Right. Yeah. Those shows have been huge all along. Now,
Right.
they might have shifted more focus to 1/12 scale now and 1/18th, whereas back like
The
a while
12,
ago when it was all 1/6 scale, right?
1/6
So,
scale, the 12-inch figures, right? Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine with the announcement of DFW, you've seen a lot of people start to pivot where they want to go. So I
Yeah.
mean, just in the communities that I communicate with, right? It's like definitely it's like down the center. There's
Mhm.
there's some people that are going to be at DFW. There's going to be some people at Joe Fest. I likely will not be at either. Just because like if I was going to go to Joe Fest, I would want to have a booth there. I want to have some product on hand. DFW, the only reason there's even a slight possibility of that is that if for some reason my day job needed me in Texas at that point, and there
Yeah.
happened to be, a situation where we were in, I had to fly in because my office is right down there in Frisco. So there are times where I have to go to Frisco. So there's no reason for me to go to Atlanta. Right. So if there was a chance that, I was going to go to either, it would only be because happenstance was that they had me in that area in Dallas for a week. So
Yeah.
I was staying on somebody else's dime. I would go to Joe Fest. Punk, I would definitely go to Joe Fest. I'd like to. There's a lot of cool people that I didn't have a chance to meet at PowerCon. And then there's you. And you need help. You need your tag team partner to take Ken down. And Ken being that person that needs to be super kicked. So I would very much so like to be there to meet you guys and hang out. But unfortunately, I don't see Joe Fest as an option this year.
Lawrence better bring some backup because I'm Ken's backup. So Lawrence better bring some backup.
That's gonna be tough. But yeah, so these 118th, is gonna be a big thing, and with I think with the Joe Fest and stuff, I think Joe Fest is trying to bring even more names in, so they're going out to maybe Mythic and Cosmic, like Four Horsemen stuff, where they typically wouldn't necessarily be the same clientele, but there's a lot of cross collectors out there, so I'm sure as much as I'm sure some of this started in like what was considered like a bad place. I think at the end of the day, while some of it could be frustrating if you're like if you like both products, and
so here's the thing though, right?
To Joe Fest.
Like there's a lot of people that are going to go to Dallas because they live on the West Coast or, from Central US over, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of people that are going to Joe Fest just because, like Scuba Pete on Infinite Playlist with Largo last week said, that he's going to Joe Fest because he lives, within a few hours of there, right? He's on the East Coast, right?
Yep.
And then there's people that are choosing to go to the Dallas show mostly because like Kirk Bazinian's going to be there and Larry Hama and all those guys that created the original Real American Hero line are going to be there, right?
And there's the hype on the fact that Val is supposed to have what he's defining as, this huge release, right? Which if you're a hardcore collector of that line, you're not going to want to miss that from the sounds of it. So like, I think, while it comes and it starts from that place of where we don't want to get to, right? Like, I don't want to get caught up in the drama, but like, maybe that's where some of this started. Let's be honest, like to some degree, this is good for the collector, right? Because now you have these two really big shows. It's unfortunate for the collector that wants to be in both places at once, but it's really good for the general.
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of guys, right? Like say you and I, right? If we both lived, instead of being 3 hours apart in New York, we were, 30 hours apart on different sides of the country. I'd be like, dude, you go to the DFW,
right?
You get the stuff. I'll go to Joe Fest to get the stuff, and we'll figure it out later, right?
Well, I've got friends in the Dallas area, so if I don't make my way out there due to work, and that release sounds like a good thing, I might reach out to a buddy in that Dallas area and be like, "Hey, are you busy that weekend? Do you want to go geek out for a few minutes and make $100, then get me what I want?"
Right.
Yes,
that's
Largo.
the thing. I'm interested to see because I haven't been to a Joe Fest in 15 years was probably the last time I was at any kind of Joe convention. So, I mean, it's been a long time. So I'm interested to see everything.
Yeah.
I think we got a lot going on this year, right? Because, I mean, Hasbro's got the classifieds going strong now, right?
Yeah.
They got the announcement of Super 7 doing the O-Ring. They got Hasbro doing a crossover between Transformers and a 4-inch line of Joes. So that's going to be Joe stuff. And then you got all the other guys doing the new O-Ring stuff like Delta 17 and, Call Sign Longbow and all that. And then you take that and you add in like Mythic Legion, Savage Crucible, Fresh Monkey Fiction supposed to be there with their Monster Force and Eagle Force. So, I mean.
Well, that's why I'm saying like with Vala pulling and going to the other place, what I mean is it's good for business for others is it's forced Joe Fest to say, well, what can we do to replace what we might be losing from that? Ignore all the other stuff, right? Like ignore the behind the backstage politicking stuff, but just recognize that there is a portion of individuals that are not going to attend the Joe Fest now that may have been attending before. So what are they going to do? They want to make sure they pull in feet. Well, guess what? There's a whole lot of people like that Cabal group, like I'm a part of. That is like, and again, I don't read everything, but they all seem really cool people. And like from everything I heard about Legions cons, like everyone there was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Like I hear like nothing but positive things about Legions Con. So like with the fact that now they've opened the door up to have the Legions there, like you're bringing in a ton of foot traffic that wasn't going to be at Joe Fest before. That were like, wait, they're going to be at Joe Fest.
Last ask him, is Sparrow going to be at Joe Fest this year? Adam, do you know?
I know they're going to be at ZoloCon.
I think Brick talked about going to Joe Fest.
Yes, we know that Joe Fest is sold out. I was trying to get a booth back last year.
We were just curious. Sparrow had got a table for them for Joe Fest or not. Because I know Brick had talked about going to Joe Fest or Legion's Con.
Oh,
And
okay.
one of those was he was going to go, and then some family thing came up that he's got to attend.
Okay.
That's takes precedence.
AWOC will be nice. Good deal. So what you're telling me there, Adam, in that statement is the last thing. If you can get time from your actual job, I'm gonna have to message Jason if that's not your actual job yet. We gotta talk through this.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That'll be cool. Yeah, so I won't be at Joe Fest. But I did already book a room for Legion's Con later this year.
Yeah.
So I did already book that booth. I would or not booth, but the hotel room. So I have that on reserve, with the intentions to be there in full blown, full selling product and everything at this point. I mean,
but you going to Legion's Con is how long of a drive to Legion's Con is it for you?
It's only 2.5 hours for me.
Yeah.
But you might be on a panel at Joe Fest. Nobody's letting you talk in front of people, punk. You only get to do it on YouTube because they haven't banned you yet.
Man, if he's on a panel at Joe Fest, I'm gonna walk up and I'll kick his ass through a window right on stage.
That's funny.
Shut up.
That's great. Yeah, no, absolutely. That'll be cool. I'll definitely want to hopefully catch that if they have a recording. Adam, that's not true. They're a multi-billion-dollar franchise. They just don't know it yet. Oh, Aaron's going to Joe Fest?
Yeah, Aaron's going to Joe Fest.
Oh man, he's always talked about never going to cons. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Man,
yeah, we got to get together and still sort out that Airbnb. Talking about getting an Airbnb because Oz is supposed to be going and
damn
Punk or Payne rather.
Yeah. If I didn't have I just have a lot of other things going on this year with family travel. We're talking about going. So we
you don't show up just to heckle Lawrence. That's just a benefit of being on live streams.
I do kind of show up to heckle him, but it's because I love him. He's a good dude.
Hey, Bud, did you know that Lawrence has a channel?
I'll link you sometime, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, Aaron. I'm happy to see that you're going, dude. That's well deserved, and I'm sure a lot of folks in the community are very excited and looking forward to seeing you, dude. Sorry, I don't think I'll make it this year. I've got my wife's birthday this year, my birthday, my son's 21st birthday, my daughter's 16th birthday, and we got a big 16th birthday party planned this year for her. And
come on, Joe Fest is more important than a once in a lifetime 16-year birthday.
Yeah, as much as I love to, I don't see the stars aligning for a Joe Fest situation this
Give
year.
me your wife's phone number. I'll talk to
her.
He needs to be there.
No, I would love to.
All sport Hexastack shirts. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'll just start giving them away.
Right.
Give away like 1/2 inch stand to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely will be looking forward to 2025 Joe Fest and hopefully having displays there, having a booth. That would be my goal. Originally, I was hoping this year actually, where the family's actually planning right now, to do a West Coast trip over to San Diego in July. So, I was actually stupid. Me last night was like, or not last night. It was like 4 nights ago. I was like, let me look online. She's like, I want to go to San Diego. I'm like, this summer? She's like, yeah, take the whole family out. We'll go out there. I was like, okay, hold on. When's San Diego Comic-Con? Find the dates. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, why don't you plan for like the 25th or like the 28th and somewhere in there? Yeah. And she's like, why? I was like, well, there's this Comic-Con out there. And then I go online. Tickets are sold out. They've been sold out since November. I didn't know that. I've never done. There's
actually a lottery for tickets.
After I realized that. Yeah. I realized that afterwards. I'm like, there's no shot. And
about 5 years ago, so maybe 2018. Yeah, probably 2018. Myself and the 3 guys that I was with in Pennsylvania before Christmas time there, and a couple other guys were all planning on going to San Diego, right? Out of 6 of us, 4 of them got tickets. Me and one other guy were not able to get tickets. So I was like, I'm not fucking going out to California to sit in a hotel room while you guys go and play fucking, Geek Fest at San Diego Comic-Con. And of course, that was before COVID, so it was like really huge, right? MCU was still going really strong, all this stuff,
Oh
right? It
yeah,
was crazy.
that would have been the peak time to be there. Is
Yeah,
those years? I did not know that's what it meant. I don't know that I believe you. I would need to look that up at a later time, but maybe.
I think he's trying to be Ron Burgundy
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
from
I didn't.
Anchorman.
I didn't watch any of the Anchorman movies. I
Oh,
used to
geez.
hate. I used to hate that main guy, Will Ferrell. I used to hate him. I never watched any of his movies. I thought he was a horrible actor. I didn't care for his
Then you
character that he
saw
always
Elf,
played.
right?
No, actually, I saw the other guys with The Rock
Oh, yeah.
because The Rock was in it for
That
like the
makes
first
sense.
30 seconds,
Yeah.
and then and Mark Wahlberg was there.
Yeah.
And when he did the desk pop and stuff, I was like, this is
Yeah.
hysterical. So
My favorite part is
I
when
like
they
him.
drive when he's driving in his Prius and he's like America, and he smashes it in the car seat. God, that kills me every time. Every time.
Yeah, yeah, good deal. We didn't talk Eagle Force. We talked Acid Rain, and we talked Joy Toy so far. I didn't really talk about the other
We didn't
lines
talk
there.
about Eagle Force yet. Nope.
We talked more AWOC. I mean, I don't know anything about Eagle Force. That would be all you, Ed.
Yeah. So Eagle Force right now, they have like their World of Eagle Force, and they have a 40th anniversary of Eagle Force coming out, which I don't understand. I'm trying to. I've done the math. It's not the 40th anniversary, so I'm not sure how they chose that. But then they also have what they're calling the Eagle World of Eagle Force, which they have like a 4-inch series of Monster Force in the Eagle Force.
I saw that.
So same characters in a smaller scale. Not all the same characters as Monster Force, but a lot of them. And then they have a bunch of other things like they have the space part of the Eagle Force. They have that guy those guys that look like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, that's the thing that I see. Like, I didn't know what this group was until you really talked about them, because like there's characters that look so much like other things. I'm like, this can't be like, this has got to be. I know who Ron is. I've never watched the Anchorman movies. I went to it in the drive-ins when I was dating my wife and I fell asleep.
Yeah. The Eagle Force has added a lot, like they did with the Monster Force character, like the General, right? That General that they're coming out with in Monster Force has heads that make it look like other characters from other lines, right? They have a character out there that's called Joe Brody in the Eagle Force line. That's basically like a Super Joe Commander figure. I mean, spot on from the Super Joe line of the 70s. So they're bringing in a lot of like tributes. They have that guy they call Blockhead that looks just like Charlie Brown, right? So I think and they have a guy that looks just like Kurt Russell from Big Trouble in Little China. I can't think of his.
Which one are you talking about, Ed?
That's Eagle Force.
Oh yeah, so Eagle Force. So like I was just looking through their site. They have the Agent Grim guy. Looks just like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
They got like a Ninja Force character called Warhol that just looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have like a lot of nods to like other lines and franchises, which I think is cool, right? Because it's just like, they're just nods saying that, hey, we all grew up with these nostalgic toys. Let's throw some of this nostalgic in there, right? I mean,
yeah.
No, I was a huge fan of the guys in gold, right? That's what the original Eagle Force was all guys in gold.
So there's a lot of those on here. I see them, like the Zapper and Sergeant Brown, KO.
Yeah. So the original,
that's the ones you're talking about, right?
Yeah. The original Eagle Force only had 13 actual characters. They had Savitar and Riot and somebody else I think there was 4 bad guys and 9 good guys in the original series. Now, Eagle Force Fresh Monkey Fiction has expanded and added characters and stuff, and like they've given some of the original characters different uniforms in different situations, right? Like they have a Captain Eagle in his regular attire, in more of a military attire. They also have him in like a space suit kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm looking at the Eagle Force stuff. Like, there's some cool stuff. I never got into them. Like, I saw them, and again, that 1/18th scale stuff. I didn't get into it until Joy Toys, and obviously you don't have them in your hands yet. But once you get the Joy Toys, I'd be curious because like I look at them and like they look cool, but they look very much GI Joe-ish, classified. But
Well, they're toyetic, right? They're toyetic. I mean, that's like they are made to be a toy, right?
okay,
They're they don't have the super detailed sculpting of Joy Toy and all that stuff, right?
okay,
Um, but they're also the line based off of um, you know a line from 1980 that lasted 1 year and had 13 original characters. You know what I mean? Like the original Eagle Force had 13 figures, Eagle Force Island, Eagle Force Jeep, and an Eagle Force tank, and that was the toy
okay,
line. And then they had like 2 or 3 sets that were like live action or cosplay type sets, right? Like a helmet and a pistol, that you could use as a kid,
right.
play with that kind of thing, right? Um,
So, so would Eagle Force be like a knockoff version of Joe's that came out back then?
no,
Is that
actually, Eagle Force became before Real American Hero,
oh, did it?
and
Okay.
E- Real American Hero actually stole ideas from Eagle Force. So Eagle
Huh,
Force has a cowboy that's called Wild Bill. Where's the
I
cowboy
saw
hat?
that. Yep.
They had a ninja in a military line, the first people to do it. Savitar is a ninja that was in the military line. Uh, they have lost my train of thought there. They have Kato, which is a karate dude that doesn't wear boots, just like Quick Kick, right?
Oh, KO there. Okay.
Yeah, KO. Yep. They have Red Wing, which is an Indian, um, you know, an actual American Indian. So I mean, it's like, you know,
Okay.
lots of characters that were in Eagle Force were designed into the Real American Hero after Hasbro saw the it was a it had a lot of success, but it was very short lived. So,
Hmm.
but that was like right at the time when Mego was starting to fall apart, right?
Okay.
They lost their licenses to Marvel and DC because they used to carry Marvel and DC in the same toy line.
So these would have been sold right at like Walmart or whatever it was at
1980,
the
I got them at KB Toys.
KB. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
I
So
think you
I don't
could
know
buy
that
them like
behind
through
that.
Sears and shit like that, but I don't
Okay.
remember ever seeing them. They were like at some of the smaller department stores, I think. So like Ames had them, which is a department store around
Yep.
here, right? So
Yep.
we didn't have Walmarts up here back at that time. So
Right. Caldor, whatever it was.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not really
Well,
familiar with them
yeah.
and
I'm only
the
planning on
history there.
getting the original 13 characters in that line with picking up a couple other. I want the Joe Brody because he's a tribute to the Super Joe. Um,
Are these? There's some of them are already out now, though, right?
yes, they've been making them for like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
But they're coming back out with the 40th anniversary line, which is all in the guys in the gold, which look like
Okay.
the original ones.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't Eagle Force 40th, so that's the one you're looking at. Okay. Are those 1/12th or are they still 1/18th?
Yeah,
Okay. And
pretty much.
are they are they the ones that still use the O-rings or no?
No, they're modern construction.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. You'll have to tell me how they scale foot-wise
Yeah,
compared to the Joy Toys. But definitely they're like I saw the Mario character and Luigi and the
yeah,
Charlie Brown looking stuff and whatnot. And I just kind of to me it was a very much knockoff of GI Joe, and it was like characters off of like other you know nostalgic characters and stuff. So
yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I haven't gotten into it, but I love the 1/18th. Like there's this, there's that
Well, a
Declan Van
second, all right.
Helsing.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what the original characters looked like. They were just 2 3/4 inches tall, solid
Oh
metal
wow,
except for the heads.
really?
Yeah, they were die cast figures.
Huh.
So they only had 5 POA. They posed hips, shoulders, and neck, right?
Okay.
But they were all basically like the same type of bodies, right? Like if you look at like this guy and this guy are, the two guys close to the end on the right, same body, right? Different paint, but it's the same body. They're all a
Okay.
lot of reuse and stuff, because it was diecast. So, but like I
They
said,
might
there's only 13 original characters. So,
is D-Clan Van Helsing? That's the Monster Force, right?
yep, that's the Monster Force dude.
Completely unrelated to Eagle Force, just that they're coming out with that, right?
Well, they put it into the world of Eagle Force, so they expanded the Eagle Force and made the world of Eagle Force, and they've added all
Okay.
those other characters and nods to other character lines into that.
So who's doing the 112th?
Fresh Monkey Fiction.
Oh, so they are doing the 112 scale
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, interesting. But
So
so they
I
might
think
need to go
some of
back
those
to the
characters were designed for Eagle Force, and
okay.
then they saw the explosion of how big the 112 scale is. So I think they decided to try scaling them up, and then
Gotcha.
they didn't want to name that Eagle Force, again. So like they have a line coming out this year that's got like some of the not Centurions, they got like a 6-inch Wild Bill from Eagle Force coming out in his gold. So
Okay.
they're making some of the Eagle Force in gold.
Interesting. Yeah, and then I see like they have that Kilowog, which is like the wolf, but
Yep.
that Van Helsing guy, they may need to go back to the drawing board on the head sculpt because in the last week there's been this major fallout in the WWE and Vince McMahon, and that head sculpt on that 3 3/4 118 scale one. I don't know what it looks like on the 112 scale, but this Declan Van Helsing
Let's
looks
see it.
just like Vince
You got
McMahon,
it?
dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah, bring it up. Let me see it.
This looks, you're never like here, Punk, you're never gonna look at this character the same. I know you're all about that
Not that you can see that shit.
hold on, I got you.
Well, that does definitely not look anything like the 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah, that is
Or
Vince
the
McMahon. That is a Vince McMahon head sculpt right there if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be rough.
It definitely looks like Vince McMahon. I can see that.
That's that's not gonna be able to be sold again. What's that? I lost you. Sorry. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's on my end or yours. No chance in hell, Punk says. I think I lost Ed. You there, Ed?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Yeah. I got those little bars popping up saying that it was not working right. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm going to show you the head on the
I see it. He's got like a scar across his face and stuff. I'm looking at the Monster Force branding here.
Yeah, he's definitely not. It looks totally different than the 4-inch.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely looks different.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I you'll have to let me know the scale on those because I'd be curious about the foot and how they fit. You know, I mean, there's varying sizes on the Joy Toys and the Acid Rain, so I think that I'll have a good set for the the initial portion and the initial wants there. But you know, did you have a stroke?
No, but my Wi-Fi did. I'm fine. Wi-Fi's not.
Yeah. So I mean, Joy Toy also has this here, which is their they were doing like they were doing like some zombie figures too.
Oh yeah.
So
you got that wolf handy? The wolf dude?
No, I don't. My son took it out of here and brought it downstairs with the AWOCs. He was using it with them. He was supposed to bring it back up, but he didn't. I remember telling him to. Sorry.
Damn kids.
I know.
Never listen.
They
never listen.
He said, Dad, you haven't gotten any wolves from AWOC yet. and it sounds like it might be a little bit before that comes. So, yeah. Did you think the line is even big enough for someone to give a shit if it looks like Vince McMahon?
Well, I can tell you that almost every single figure that comes out from the Eagle Force gets sold out. So whatever production run they're doing, absolutely, kids playing with toys.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Hey, I'm doing my part. I don't know
That's
about
right.
everybody else in this world. I'm doing my part to keep.
I did my part.
To keep toy collectors alive. I know I see on so many shows how we're the last generation of it. I'm doing everything in my power to keep kids collecting. So
My
you
son's
guys,
a collector.
you need
He
to do
plays with
better.
toys.
Not you,
Right.
but others. Anyone else who's saying it, then they're not doing better. Because
That's right.
I'm one and I've made two, so I've multiplied.
I only had one son, but my oldest daughter, well, not my oldest daughter with my ex-wife has she collects monster horror figures like the NECA
Okay.
ones. So,
Yep.
and then my daughter that's going to be 21 in March, she collects mostly stuffed animals and stuff, but she collected a lot of toys to this, like
Yeah.
girl toys, pound
Right.
puppies and shit like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw a comment in here real quick. Micronauts. That's the one I was thinking of. Adam, thanks. Yeah, they're making so Monster Force, Eagle Force has some characters that look like Micronauts in it. And then in the 6-inch line that they're doing with the Wild Bill character, they're actually having a couple of the Micronauts. They call them the Unseen, I think is what they're calling them. And it's got that guy with the television head. That's probably on their website, not on BBTS.
Yeah, sorry. I just saw what Todd said about the IT company. I did see that. There's an IT group out there with that. I don't even think they're in the US, if I remember correctly. But that's the reason that I had to purchase the hexastack.com for my product line.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that. So
yeah, I don't even think they're an active company. If I remember, there was a couple of names and things that I was looking at, and that's the one I came up with and landed on, but completely unrelated.
So the cool thing about the Eagle Force that I like is the aside from the nostalgia, of course, is the all the characters. The two figures that I have right now, the one has both of them have 3 heads, bunch of hands, and the one figure I have actually comes with 4 heads, and then like 2 of the heads are African American, and then 2 of the heads are Caucasian heads, right? So it comes with extra hands to make the character either or, and it comes with gloved hands, so you could actually
that's cool.
Yeah, so lots of variety, and they hold the weapons well. I mean, they got they don't have double elbows, but their elbows bend far enough and they swivel, so you can get them to hold weapons pretty well.
Yes, all of his action figures come with 4 heads, and it's what he loves.
Yes.
He hates those figures that don't come with 4 heads.
Yep.
Because the ones without 4 heads suck. When it's eyes and skull, it's just nothing.
It can't be too much forehead like a Neanderthal. Just
right.
Just enough forehead.
Right.
Smart ass. Oh shit.
To Adam, I know you're in the chat here, and I don't recall. Is there an official date at this point for the Kickstarter, or is that still up in the air, yet to be determined, or yet to be announced? Better yet.
It's a big selling point when Travis and I are trying to get other action figure lines to jump on the bandwagon, that if they promote the forehead on the figure, that it'll sell a lot better. So
yeah. Oh, March 6th. Awesome. That's good to know.
That's not far along.
Cool. Yeah. Do we know when the anticipated delivery date is targeting, or is that up in the air still too?
Shit. If it's March 6th, it's probably at least a year out, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're like Helen Hunt, and they also have big chins like Sarah Jessica Parker, so they have a really long face. Yeah, so when I get the Eagle Force, or not the Eagle Force, the Joy Toy which should be coming next week, I imagine. Um, I'll compare the foot and stuff, let you know what I think.
Wow,
Wow, that's
that's
fast.
awesome. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So are brawlers the mid tier buck, Adam? I think maybe that's what you're calling as brawlers and not brutes. Maybe that's where I was confusing it
Yeah.
because they have the large body and the character was called the brute, and it's that
Yeah.
the gray
Yep.
gorilla.
Brawler
And
sounds
the,
right.
and the brawler, I think, is that mid buck that the lion's going to
But
be
there was
on. Is
only
what he's
two of them,
calling.
right? It was just the
The only thing
lion,
we saw was
right?
there,
The lion
but
and the collie looking dude, right?
I think they're working on some things,
Right.
and they have not announced or shown everything that's going to be part of the
Yeah.
Kickstarter. There's definitely some stuff they're holding close to their chest with the anticipation of being revealed through certain milestones or plans at some point. Okay, so the Void.
Collie
Okay, so
Prime.
the
That's what
Void
they're
is that
called.
buck. Yeah.
Collie Prime. That's what it was in King
Okay,
Hannibal.
and King Hannibal. Okay,
Yeah, they're the brawler bucks. Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That shit looked awesome at PowerCon. And I know,
see if I can be
Mace
back
is
on
going to
number
have
one.
one of those high-rise play sets that they showed at PowerCon at the table, right? With the little bamboo hut. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, so actually, I'm curious on that, and I know it's again deviating. Sorry.
You're fine, dude.
Adam,
I just make a topic to have a topic. It never stays on topic. That's what my show's for.
With regards to the Void, I thought I pre-ordered that already. Is the Void pre-order part of Series 1, or is that going to be part of Series 2? How's that working? Because I don't know if I picked up on that. I thought I pre-ordered it. Maybe I didn't.
Well, I think they had the pre-orders for all of the gladiators, right? So
But the Void wasn't a gladiator.
Oh yeah, that's right. He wasn't part of the gladiator, right?
Yeah.
He's got the robotic arm and all that stuff. And he was released separately, right? He went up for pre-order by himself.
Yeah, it was like an independent, release. Yeah, pre-order the Void. So I see that on the website. Yeah. It's like a deluxe figure.
Yeah.
The Void should ship with Wave 4. Oh, I did not know. That is cool.
So that's Series 1 then, for
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Because Wave 3 was the game board, or
right.
The originally it was the game. It was the brute and stuff that came with it.
Yeah.
And Wave 4 is the Gladiator series, which has the hyena.
Yeah.
And it has the.
Did you watch Oz's show that was on my channel on Saturday night? Were you in the chat?
No, I was watching Rumble.
You were watching Rumble, right?
Yeah, I was watching Rumble.
You got to get with Thanos and look at the cloaks he got for his AWOC figures.
Oh yeah.
Oh, freaking awesome, dude.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I'm typically one of the stances I've taken on figures collecting, and it really came in during the midst of COVID with the WB. I started kind of getting rid of some of my duplicate characters, like because in wrestling, you typically you don't need a second version of Hulk. Unless they were so different, right? But what I did was he's just a figure that Jason didn't want to wait to release. Sweet. I love that. I love that he's a fan first, a toy collector first, because we benefit from that, right? Because of an exact situation there, right? That's awesome. But going back, I typically don't rebuy characters the same. I normally wouldn't buy those the Pale or the Atreyu Gladiator ones.
Yeah.
But something about them, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go all in and grab every one of them. But I've taken a strong stance of not grabbing duplicates of key characters or duplicates of non-army builder figures, right? So I did re-get those.
Yeah, I backed off buying dupes of named characters too, so I didn't get the gladiator versions of them. But
okay,
I'm also trying to save up a lot of money so I can purchase my Monster Force and Eagle Force this year, which is my two main priority lines this year.
You're gonna see that change drastically after you get those stinking Joy Toys in your hand, dude. I'm thinking.
Oh, I know.
Those Joy Toys are so freaking
especially
good.
When I get that fucking motorcycle, so I know that's gonna
be yeah. Those are gonna be so good.
But we got to figure out what kind of terrain I want to build. I got to build a dio for it now. So.
Well, that's what I want to do. At some point, there's so much as you and I.
Let's go there, right?
Talk.
If you could build the dream dio right now, what would you do? Would you go Would you go complete space sci-fi, like Space Marine Battlefield, cyberpunk? What kind of aesthetic would you go with?
So I would go city, like I would go city. You know, it'd be almost like it'd be like a space alternative world type thing, where and this we're talking for the Joy Toys specifically, right?
Right. Yep.
118.
118. Yep.
I'd have it set up so you had buildings that were modular, so you can pull the walls down, open them up, go inside the buildings. Multiple floors of those buildings. Things on top of the building, also alleys down the sides. But it would be kind of like a worn, torn city with still some active population style to
Yeah.
it, so that way, like, you could tell shit's gone down, but
Yeah.
so that you could kind of do in between, whether
So have it like
it could be,
Tatooine, where it's kind of just a rundown city that's seen
yeah,
enough shit. Yeah.
yes, it would be very much in that sense, but it would not be, because again, I'm not a Star Wars guy,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure that's like the desert world, right?
Yeah. It's all desert. Yeah.
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 So it would be not desertish, it would be more of a it would be more city,
Yeah.
like New York City cyberpunk type approach to it. Yeah, very technical,
Yep.
but smashed out windows and that type of thing, where boarded up facilities, brick walls, kind of you know you know chain link fences with them kind of ripped and cut apart,
Yeah.
where people have gone through them, that type of stuff. I think probably the best example would be like Walking Dead season 2, I think,
Yeah.
when they, or maybe no, season 1, I think, when they were in New York, when they were in Atlanta, I think it was what it was, and they were in the city when they were going in. I don't know if you watched Walking Dead, but
I
you would.
didn't, but
Oh, dude, you missed out then. A great series, one of my favorite series ever. But going right into the city in the first season, they went in to save some people and get material stuff out of it, like very war torn, zombie, overthrown. Obviously, with the Joy Toy, that's not what I would be looking at, but
yeah.
that's the approach I would go.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I keep thinking about what I do, and like I'm gonna build probably like a little dio, at least for a display shelf for the
Right.
motorcycle. Um,
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out in my head. I have it in my head to do kind of like where it's almost like 3D. So like the buildings would come in sort of like a point like this, right? So when you look at it, it's got a visual like aspect ratio to it, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet.
Like you're talking, so like it V's in, so it looks like it's going off. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
I saw some
That'd
guy.
be
I
cool.
saw some guy on YouTube do that, and I was just like, that is just awesome. So
Yeah, I could see doing something like that and having them either coming at you or going
yeah, I'm gonna
towards
have
you.
him like probably have the bike parked like in front, but like
Okay.
looking, so when you look at the bike, like all you see is like, the city kind of drifting off behind him, right? So
Okay.
I got to start like big enough and then slow
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
down as I go. So it's the guy shows how to do it, but
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, with the characters that I have and stuff, I don't have like civilian type Joy Toy size figures,
yeah,
so I'm stuck with a few zombies, and then it's more the warriors, and I've got more on the way. I've got a pretty sick pack, 2 sick packs of them coming from Amazon here.
for the Joy Toy, right?
Do I have more coming from Amazon right now? I thought I did. I thought I just recently ordered some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have the Joy Toy Infinity Corvus ones that they have. So they're sci-fi-ish, really cool looking ones that I really enjoy. Well, I really like them. There's some red and blue and black, a little bit of white on them, male and female figures there. And then I have those two, and then I also have directly from Joy Toy due to the sale that they did. I have which ones are they? I have the Pan-Oceanic Knights, which is like a 3-pack of like
Yeah, those ones
some,
look awesome.
yeah, and then those are the white and blue and black, and then they also have a Pan-Oceanic Knights Hospitallers, which are like they have the red involved in them and stuff. And I don't know if it's a fabric or if it's like I'm assuming it's like more of a rubber. It's a rubber cape and stuff on them, but again, very space marine-ish, but not,
Yeah,
because the one thing for me is I'm not a huge fan of the I'm not a huge fan of the Warhammer deco, like the emblems. I don't want my characters to be tied to the Warhammer thing, so I'm hesitant to buy too many of the 40K ones, because like you have like the big Warhammer insignias on the
yeah,
chest pieces and stuff, so like I don't want those. But like these are very much in that kind of space marine type look and feel, a little bit slimmer, more agile looking.
yeah. Like I like the ones a couple of those Joy Toy human figures you got that aren't so bulky. So
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
one
You know,
he's
that's
like the one that's like Duster. He's a really cool looking figure, right? But he's
yep.
very modern military. But you can mix him into you know, a cyberpunk,
Well,
atmosphere easily, right? Yeah, like
yeah.
him, right?
And there's like this. This is like just normal military. I think this is from the World War II line that they do, or because they have ones that I think they have like a line that is supposed to represent, the Nazis and whatnot. I think this actually might be the Soviet, and whatnot ones. To be honest, I'm pretty sure that's what the chest patch is supposed to represent. But
Yeah.
they have these, and these I like the joints and stuff on these. This one feels stronger than the generic cheap ones. But yeah, they do a great job with their figures. I'm definitely leaning towards Joy Toy all the way on those. And then they have the more space looking
Yeah.
characters. But those other 7 that I have coming are all much more in line with this style Infinity series, whatever this ends up being. They're so freaking cool, and the vehicles and stuff. And yeah, what I want to do is I want to print 2 of those large unit bills that I showed you the other day.
Yeah.
And then I want to print one. I want to purchase the flatbed, not the flatbed, but the more Jeep style one, and print that, and then have 3 of them.
Oh,
right?
the one we looked at with the last
More
Wednesday.
like the it's like more like the Honda Ridgeline,
Yeah, we
or
looked at that.
like the Jeep Renegade, or Jeep, not Jeep Renegade,
Yeah.
Jeep whatever that one is that they have out there. I can't think of what it's called. But yeah, it's like the badass.
The
looking,
Wrangler.
That's not the Wrangler. It's more like what is this? The Jeep Gladiator. It's more like the Jeep Gladiator.
Oh, Gladiator. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
so
pickup truck one. Yeah.
It's like it's like a pickup truck, but it's
Yeah.
got like 4 doors,
Yep.
and it's got this trunk space there for people.
Yeah.
$40K Imperium have a very gothic
I finished
architecture.
praying the other half of my adventure tube. Spraying, I think is what he meant, because he was waiting for nice weather to paint.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's taking some 3 3/4-inch Joy Toy and making 1/18 scale, or 4-inch Joy Toy and making a 1/18 scale G.I. Joe adventure team. So
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is he flocking
God, I hope not. You can't even get flock that small. I use 1 millimeter flock on 1/12 scale head, and it is the shortest that I've found available, and it's still long on a 1/12 scale head.
Gotcha.
So on 1/18, I couldn't even imagine. Better to sculpt it and paint it on.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Joy Toy, man. I'm the world building aspect of it. I can definitely see I'm going to get myself into some trouble. And
Yeah, I'm
and have
excited
some
for
fun with
mine to
those.
show up. So that'll be I got
Yeah.
the one figure and the bike coming, but he'll get thrown in with the rest of my 1/18 for now, and then I'll be getting some more for sure.
I just like the mechs. Like, if
Yeah,
you're into that
mech is
stuff, it's so cool.
sweet. I love that mech.
Like, it's so stinking cool. Like, and she came with it, and she's a clean figure. Like, there's like so much like in the detail. Like it's just such a cool line.
She
Like,
fits in there good too, right? I mean, it's
oh
like
yeah,
she's
she's
not
clean.
floating
She's,
around, and she's not so tight that you can't get her in or out.
no, absolutely. Like, and it's fairly easy. Like, if I'm paying attention to just what I'm doing, and I just bend the legs, she sits in with ease, and you don't even know if she's in there or not. Like, you can just close it up and keep her out if you want, or leave her right on in. She sits in perfectly fine. She grabs onto the handles. She's got the articulation, so you can grab to the handles. The handles actually rise up and down, so she can adjust. You can adjust her hands to it and stuff, and set it right up in front of her. I mean, it's hard to see what I'm doing, but like,
Yeah, but like she doesn't whip around like I like the
you can hear her shaking in there if I move her around, but that
But, like,
actually might even just be the other thing.
the mechs from like the Chat May ones that like Wilhelm shows off, right? The cheap like $15 ones at the dollar store or whatever.
Yep.
They're really nice looking mechs, but the figures just kind of float in there because they're
okay.
they're just made to because the figures don't bend. They're just
right.
they got 5 points articulation. So
Yeah, and Adam, the other cool thing about this is, I mean, there's so much configuration to the mech with like removing parts, and if you're somebody who has a 3D printer or access to other greebles and things like that, you can do so much customization to it if you wanted, because there's other areas like. And what I thought was really cool is they even give you like a storage compartment for some of the other accessories right in the arms. I think that's what it's for. I mean, that's what I'm using it for. I don't know if that's what
I
it's
don't know
really
what else
intended
it would be
for.
for, right? I mean,
But
unless
yeah,
you could. The only thing that would be cool is if you 3D printed some guns that popped out or rocket
yeah,
launchers, right? That'd be
put
cool.
something in there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be cool. But there's like you can customize some certain things on it and stuff. I think it's such a cool figure, and I
Yeah,
love the
and that's
blue
the
and
one that comes with
orange.
the mask, right?
Yeah, that's the one that has that 2-tier match that goes around it. About my decision to go with Joy Toy over Acid Rain, but hearing you with both hand in hand, choosing the same makes me, yeah, absolutely, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Part of me is disappointed I bought the Acid Rain. Like,
I can actually see like when you're moving the figures around that the Acid Rain was not as structurally sound as the Joy Toy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep the ones I have. I will not likely purchase any other ones.
Yeah.
It leads me to be hesitant to want to go out and grab the vehicles just because
Well, that's what I was saying, right?
is
I
the
have to
quality
look
there?
wait for a review to come out and see what they're built like.
Yeah, because that one vehicle is really cool looking.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I could really get into the world building of that vehicle and stuff, but I just don't know the
Yeah,
quality
but
of
for
it.
$160, if it's not going to be quality, you might as well just print your own and take the time and do it, right? Make
Yeah,
a decent one.
yeah, yeah. There's enough things out there in different scales that you can scale up. There's that Techco toys that has a bunch of mechs and stuff
Oh
out
yeah,
there,
that
and
Techo Toys was awesome
you
too.
can
Yeah.
buy their files for $10 a pop, and you can scale them up if you want. And there's a ton of mechs there. They don't have so many vehicles, but if you're looking for mechs, it's
Yeah.
a fraction of the price. But you're gonna have to paint and all that stuff. But the Acid Rain, I don't know if the price is more expensive. I figure they're all kind of in that same bucket of pricing.
I think when we looked on BBTS though, like the Joy Toys were like 50 something, and the Acid Rains were like 60 something.
It's right around the same, I thought, but you might be right.
It wasn't so far off that you're like, oh man, but it's still far enough that it's.
Yeah, like there's that character. I think you got the. Did you get the Colt of San Raji Jack? Is
Yeah.
that the one you got? I think I have him. I don't know though. I think I got a 3-pack with him in it. To be honest, I just think he's in a box somewhere. But he's like $28. But like an average one for Joy Toy is like $45. $45 somewhere in there from what I'm seeing. You can get a 3-pack of the and I want those too. That yellow 3-pack of the Starhawk ones. Those are cool looking. They look badass. Those will
Share the
probably be one of my
screen,
next
brother.
purchases. Oh, sorry.
Let me see them.
These will likely be. So these will probably be some of my next purchases right here. So I'll likely get this one, just because I already have the other one.
I like the mechs that have like the drill arms. Those are so sweet.
So mine has that. I just don't have those parts on them.
Yeah.
Mine came with that too instead of the articulating fingers.
That claw that opens up is pretty sweet.
I think I have the claw. I'm not 100% sure, but this has like the over the back claws and stuff too. So definitely that's a big one. I mean, that's on sale right now, but I can't do any more right now.
Why not?
This is the 3-pack that I want.
Do they have actual heads underneath the helmets, or are they like oh yeah, they're heads. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys look pretty badass right there.
Yeah.
Those guys would be cool, like doing like some kind of like city patrol in that
exactly like in that city.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. They'd be going through, they'd be looking for the infested or something, whatever that story is that I end up going with.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool. And the helmets are, pop-on helmets, so they're really cool. But then this one and that one will probably be some of the next purchases. And then there's this one here, and that one there. Actually, here I'll just go into them real quick so that I don't have to switch screens. But there's this one here, which if you watched what's his name? Toy Domination. If you
Yeah.
watched him recently, he
Yep.
used him in that video. I think he was one of them.
Yep.
And then so was this white one here.
Yeah, that
Which
video is so cool.
yeah, and then he uses those figures, which are really cool. And then there's the third character, which is the green one. You can get these in a 3-pack, I think. It comes with all 3 of them. They kind of remind me like Halo almost from the video game back in like
And
Halo
what are
2,
those?
Halo 3.
55 or 65?
These are 34.
Oh, 34. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can get the cheaper ones, which are down here in that $20 range. And then there's this one. This is one that I've got my eyes on. Comes with like
that
the
is
flight
awesome.
pack.
Yeah, it's got a jetpack. That is sweet.
Yeah. And then obviously I have this one here. I think this is what you got, right? Or no, you didn't get this motorcycle. You got a different one.
I didn't
Right?
get.
You got the Warhammer style one, right?
Yeah, I didn't get the guys. I didn't get his actual bike. I didn't like the way that bike looked.
So this is the playset that I think Fat Red or somebody was talking about earlier. So you've got like, like this. So you can have like the maintenance group working on the mechs. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's some really cool stuff that they did. Like just basic.
They all click together. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have you just gotta be careful when you're looking at the mechs and stuff. Make sure you're not looking at the 125th.
Yeah,
because I find that like on Amazon sometimes they mix them up.
Yeah.
So like
Amazon always screws it all.
This one looks cool. Like that gun that this thing's got, and it looks like it might have some fabric on here.
Yeah, that's freaking.
I can't tell. But like that gun that it has, and what I will say is from like the perspective of the mech that I have, the mech has like that's definitely fabric because it's got like that strap you can carry the gun.
Oh yeah.
But like the mechs, the fingers, they have like these like what does it got? It's got like 6 pieces of articulation in the fingers, in each one of the fingers. So it looks like you got somewhere for the guy to stow in the back and sit on the back. So it's pretty badass.
That is badass.
But its price tag is up there.
Yep.
That's one. There's another one so I've got this one. That's that guy that I keep showing. That's the big, he's got the sword and stuff. So I've got that one already.
But do you have did he come with that mount thing or whatever it is? The drone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this thing right here.
Let me see that.
It's like a transfer. It's like
Yeah.
It's like a bike. It's like a bike flyer. It's like a flying bike. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like transforms. I just don't do good with transformers. I struggle. I have my whole life, so I just leave it like that. But yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Yep. And then this one was on sale on the Joy Toy directly. I want to say for like $60 or something recently. I just couldn't do it right now. Steiner does not have a flight pack. I'm looking at him right now on my desk. Steiner. Am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that the guy that I was looking at before? This guy looks cool too. Little mix between like Ultron or something, or one of those things from the Marvels, but also like space, marine. Okay, so he must be talking about the character that I was looking at before.
Yeah.
So I think that was on the second page real quick. Hold on. Is that this guy? Is that what you're talking about, Adam? Did I miss something?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I see
Fat Rafus said Steiner has a flight pack. And then Adam said, no, he doesn't.
I don't know who Steiner is.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know the characters well enough.
That guy with the flight pack though looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is another one that looks cool. It's a big dark assault mech. It's fairly simple. Doesn't have like a ton, but
yeah,
there's that. And then there was, I think this is like a sidecar.
Oh, that is cool. I like that bike.
Yeah. And then they also have this Jeep or this quad that I've seen, like Kawasaki one. And then this is the group I was telling you about before. It's like the mechanics this is what I originally came across online. Yep. So, Where's the other one? So
And
that's
how
that.
much is it for the 6 mechanics?
It's $140,
Oh, that's not
right?
bad for 6 figures.
No, I mean you're talking what 140. You're talking about $23, a little bit
Yeah,
more than
20,
buying
25
like
bucks
the
a
other
piece.
one.
Yep.
I don't know what it comes with for like weapons and stuff. I never really looked that far in. I know it's not weapons; it's going to come with like mechanical tools and stuff.
Yeah,
But like, oh, it looks like it comes with like a mystery one too, maybe.
it must be.
But I wanted the orange one, so I've been hesitant to buy that. Is because of this is that set that I was telling you about. So I think in his show he used in his stream he did this one and the red, but
Well,
there's
Fat
also
Red
the
Foo says
green.
that set is cheaper on Amazon.
A lot of stuff's cheaper on Amazon, but if you go directly to Joy Toy right now, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's a secret fake. Adam said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the mechanics are 6 figures right here, and maybe there's like a 7th one that comes surprise. Is that what it is?
So I wonder if what you're getting
Oh
on
yeah, you get
Amazon
6
is
and the
only
7th.
6, and then what you're buying on BBTS might have a 7th or something like that. Maybe
Oh, okay.
I don't
Maybe
know,
that's what it is.
because Fat Red said he got it and only had 6 figs. So
Oh, okay. You get a chance to get the topless mechanic. Okay.
oh
So it's like a random insert or something. It probably says it in that.
yeah, if we read, which we don't do, so
Yeah.
we just like to guess and pontificate.
Yep. My lights just went off. Sorry. Okay. Includes 6 random figures with the possibility of a secret chase figure. So a possibility.
Yeah.
So that's
So
what that
does
is.
they don't have any like actual Jeeps or anything then? They just have the motorcycles and the quad.
And the mechs. I don't think I've seen anything as far as
Like
the
they don't have like the Rover type vehicle like Asterain did.
not that I recall. Um, Again, they just have the quad there.
Yes, reading is hard sometimes.
And then they have another. So
Oh,
you can
that's a
see
sweet place right there. I like that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
And they all supposed to connect together and stuff. You can see it holding the quad type thing there. Um, there's another one here, another mech. And the nice thing is with the mechs, they always come with like a figure. And figures are decent. In
Yeah.
my experience, the figures that come with the mechs, or they come with the vehicles tend to be a little bit better quality than say that generic packs that I was telling you about before.
Right.
And again, you get some more, building structure, playset stuff. All again that's supposed to connect together for the depot. I don't know that I've ever seen this. That looks like a mech of some sort.
Yeah. Looks like an actual like robot mech though.
Yeah.
Like
And I think this is just the battle for the stars. If you just go to just Joy Toy stuff, obviously you get the Warhammer stuff.
right.
Um, and then they have their 112 stuff that they have. But if you're just looking at the 118th, I mean, it says like they have 400
Like they
something.
have those like I saw like some guy kind of looked like a samurai with white hair. That was Joy Toy, right?
Yeah, I'd have to double check, but like this is a definite, like this is something I really want right here.
Oh
This
yeah.
is one we'll likely get. Not for the I'll probably try to sell this or distro this on somewhere else.
Yeah.
I just want the wolves. They have one in the brown and then the black here, which they just look cool.
Yeah. I really like that black one, yeah.
But there's this is I think what you got, right? Different color. I think you wanted the yellow.
Yeah, mine's yellow, but yeah, same bike.
Yeah. I haven't seen this. I don't even know what this is.
How much is that blue bike going for on here?
58.
Oh, that's good. I got a good deal on it then.
Yeah, well, dude, when I saw that, like the Joy Toy, like directly from Joy Toy, I almost got that one. I think they still have some stuff on there on sale.
They still
right
do.
now.
When's Chinese New Year start? The 4th or something? I think the 4th of February.
I don't know when it is. I know that I'm pretty sure I convinced Adam to go and grab that wolf one that I got, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I'm looking here, and I think that the Chinese New Year's. I'm just double checking their website. Okay, so it looks like they still have some stuff here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've added anything. I'm just double checking real quick on their site. Oh yeah, so they still have $26 for that That
Yeah.
bike.
Yep.
Compared to 40 something.
Yep.
It's huge. And they have that little Primus this one here. They have this here.
Yeah, that yellow bike right there. Yep. That's
Well,
the
this
one.
isn't a bike. This is like a
Oh, yeah, the little like
it's a
rover
little
type thing.
rover
Yeah.
type thing. But it's weird. You know, you got the rear mount gun that you can use and
Yeah.
what but
That's
then they
the
have
that's the guy I was talking about right there at the bottom of that page.
oh, these.
Yeah.
So this is from the Dark Source stuff. There's not a lot of stuff in the Dark Source that I'm a huge fan of. Like the stuff looks cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit with the
Right.
type
Yeah.
of characters that I'm collecting.
Those are the ones that Luke was like talking about, like, because she
Gotcha.
likes all that Asian inspired stuff,
Gotcha.
samurais,
And they have like the orcs and stuff now from 40K.
yeah.
Some people might be fans of, but like I was saying, man, holy cow. It's only $30. Oh.
It's pretty nice. That's
So,
pretty nice.
I mean, this one was like 70 something when I bought it. So
Yeah.
I got it for it's 30 now. So that was frustrating, just slightly. But yeah, they have those. But yeah, they got a bunch of deals. Like if somebody's looking to jump in, like there's definitely an opportunity now to grab from them on the Chinese New Year. They got a good assortment stuff. The ones that I got coming are this one here. I ended up getting this 3-pack here that I was telling you about before.
Oh yeah.
So I got those coming, and then I have these coming here. So I went and got these 4-pack.
Those guys are sweet.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites right there so far that I've seen. So I saw those and I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab those. I mean, because the price point on it was huge savings.
Yeah, like I couldn't believe how much that less. Like I saw that bike on BBTS, I knew it was expensive. Then I saw it on there for 26. I was like, oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
definitely getting that.
Yeah, so I got a few of these zombies here for Christmas. I think I've got the chubby guy here. I've got this girl here, and I want to say I have the dude right here. I think there was like a 3-pack my mom must have got me. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff to do with these, and you know they're so small, they fit everywhere. You can store them in so many different things. Yeah, I honestly, like, the more I've been thinking over the last like 72 hours or so, I will likely be mass unloading my classifieds and Valiverse and moving away from those lines in the 1/12 scale, just because like there's just so many things that you can grab, and like because of the storage and the use case, like I'll keep some of those figures that I like, but like for what I want and the world building aspect, there's just so much you can do with the.
Well, it's like
118.
I got one of the vamps coming from Hasbro, you know, for GI Joe, and I'm
So do
actually gonna be using that for my Monster Force because.
Oh, okay.
And I have Shipwreck, Snake Eyes, and then 2 Dreadnoks, and then I'll have Mutton Junkyard when I finally ship him from Hella Dope. But that's it for Joe's for me. Other than the Vamp, that'll be it. I'm not gonna be getting any more.
Yeah, I've got a Vamp coming. I have a His Tank that I haven't opened. I have
you have a Dragonfly on the right way.
2 of them.
Oh, geez.
2 of them. Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to sell those and.
Oh yeah.
Get your money back.
I'll definitely be unloading all that stuff at that point. I just lost audio. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I can hear you now. Yeah, I will definitely be unloading those. I mean, I'm more than likely. I'm so torn. I just keep looking back at them, and I'm like, do I take them out? Do I put them on? Because I've got this, 72-inch shelf here that I was originally going to put all my Action Force and Joes on with the Hexa stacks that I have. And I was going to put those on display up there, and I'm just like, do I move on from them? I'm so torn. Like if I move on from them, I know it's going to free up a ton of funds that I can repurpose, but I'm like, And then I know that there's other Valiverse, like once the new Valiverse bucks come out that they're working on, but there's just so much I can do like in size with this in the world building aspect of it that far.
How much does the HasLab cost?
Which one?
The Hiss.
I have to go back and look at the website.
Was it
Let me take a look.
350?
I more than I should have paid, but just because I'm an idiot, I do that FOMO stuff. Let me take a look.
Yeah, everybody in the toy industry suffers from FOMO.
Fat Red Shopping with Travis, a new YouTube channel. Oh man, people can live vicariously through me.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
We'll make that our Wednesday night show.
Shopping with Travis. I like it. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna need to get it up to 500 subs, and I'm gonna have to get watch hours turned over
That's
real
right.
quick to help support the habit.
So there's been two. One sold today. No, two of them sold today, complete. One for $545 and one for $575.
Okay, so his was $299.
And
so I have two.
Another one sold this morning for $579.
Is that with all the pieces?
That's
Because
everything. Yeah,
I've seen if you
box.
piece it out, you can make it like you can.
Yeah, for sure, dude. The GI Joe his tank driver just sold for $62.
Yeah. So the Firefly or the Dragonfly, with two of them on order, they were each $275. So
yeah, Adam said $299 for the hiss and $275 for Dragonfly.
Yeah, so I got two of those coming at some point when they come. Originally, I intended on world building with them, but I'm like, I could world build a much smaller set with the
Delta 17's coming out with a helicopter for 1/18 scale.
Well, even like I even looked at the Haya toys. Have you looked at those? Punk was showing those last night, and I was like,
"No, those look good."
They do. They really actually do. And the price on them? Have you seen the price? I mean,
I thought they were a lot more expensive.
I thought they were too. $25, and you literally get this. Granted, $25. You can get the $25 classifieds,
right. 2 inches bigger or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
right.
But like,
if you're a 1/18 collector for $25, when you look at Joy Toy, Eagle Force, Eagle Force figures are 26.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Joy Toy selling them for 25. Shit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely considered that if I needed to get my. Oh, Fat Red, you will not be disappointed subbing to Highly Articulated. He has some great content. Stuff. There's a handful of folks that I say are really good at YouTubing, and they've got the voice and they put the effort into the whole thing. He and Brick are rock stars at that stuff, man. Those guys have great content. And if you're a nerd for AWOC like I am, you just wait for them to put out one of their AWOC talks or whatever it is they're calling it at that point. I always forget. They have some good stuff.
Monkey Business.
That's the one.
Lightning pussies. That's what they call them. Oh, Briscoe subbed to him also. Great. Good job, guys.
There you go, Adam.
You're welcome, Adam.
I don't know if it helps you a ton.
I don't know either.
I don't know if you're like on the verge of trying to get monetized or if you're already. I don't even know. I just listen to your stuff because
it's good.
It's the place to get a walk talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my his tank. I don't even remember what year I bought that. What year was that?
Shit. It came out last year, right? So it had to be the year before that. So 2022. Yeah.
344.
He said he sold his CC Tactician and
Cobra Commander. Yeah. And the Tacticians, and his worked out to about 170 each.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Really? So I sold my
but if you're
Technicians and my hiss, and it's about 170 each. So did you keep Adam? Did you keep anything?
No, I think he's saying that he sold the Cobra Commander and the Tactician, and that dropped with what he got. That dropped his hiss down to $170.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Well, even if you get monetized, do you really make money on YouTube?
I have no idea.
Even the big channels are only making their money off of sponsors. They're not making it off of YouTube.
Right.
And what are you going to get sponsored with in the toy world?
Right. What Cyberpunk has you got for 118? Oh, you talk about me 3D printing for you?
Yeah.
Give me a second.
You were supposed to DM them last week about that.
I think they were supposed to DM me, but I forget. So he kept the tank, the driver, and gunner.
Yeah.
And it was about $170 after he sold the extra figures. Okay, so that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, That's 3
$70
characters.
for a hiss with a couple figures still? Shit.
You
Yeah.
get the hiss and 3 figures.
Yeah.
Or 2 figures. That's good. I mean,
Yep.
each figure $25 a piece. That means you paid about
Yeah.
$120 for the hiss tank.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cobra
that's not
Commander
bad.
is the highest selling one, I'm sure, right? He's
Right.
probably the
Right.
most desired figure out of that.
What do I got for heads? Hold on a second. I'm looking. I don't have like an inventory so much as I just have files here. I got one that looks like Sarah Connor. I don't know if that's what you're looking for. One that looks like Green Lantern. Henry Cavill. Ghost Rider. Snake Eyes. Got a Ranger head. The hot take, the Cobra Commander is stupid. That's interesting. That's funny. Oh, I got a cyberpunk with a here.
Yeah, share it up, bud.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I will. I'm taking a screen.
12 more minutes and I'll be 51 years old, dude. 12 more minutes.
Well, we're gonna make it there. It's gonna be a happy birthday celebration. So let me see if I can share this. Let me zoom in.
And watch movie. What the fuck is Pat Red talking about?
Just trying to make sure I don't dox myself or something.
No, that's fine. Take your time, dude.
Okay.
Good.
Cool. Yep. So there's that cyberpunk head right there.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Is that like veins or wires or something hanging
It's
off
just
the
like
bottom
it's
of
like
it, or is that
etched.
just
It's
the
like
struts?
etched. Oh,
That's just the struts from the printing, right?
Yeah, that's just the what do they call them? I can't think of it. Post I can't think of what it's called.
The trusses.
You're saying so many things I can't remember what they're called.
Supports.
Supports. That's what they're supports.
Yeah.
There's a term for it they use in there. I couldn't remember what it is. Supports. Yeah. It would be this one here. Give me a second.
Want me to take you off till you get it ready?
No. I can pull it in differently. Right. I think. So.
Thanks, Briscoe.
So there's that one. And that one.
Well, Fat Red, if you had DM'd him like you were supposed to, you'd have this information already. That's all I'm saying. Jeez. These people. Other people's children, I tell you.
There's some cool ones. You might like this, dude. I mean, I don't know.
Yes, you do. You know. What the hell is that? Oh, I like that.
You have one of those in 1/12, I think. I sent you a couple.
No, I don't have that head.
I must have sent that one to you.
Nope.
The cigarette might have broke off though. I definitely sent one of those to you for you to paint for me.
I'll have to check.
Yeah, you definitely do because these are like my favorite head sculpt.
That is awesome, dude. I can't imagine. Well, painting that would probably be fairly easy in 1/18 because you don't have to worry about the eyeballs.
Trying to get a.
I mean, not easy, but easier than having to paint eyeballs.
Yeah. There's that guy.
I'm doing it now. The Briscoe needs to get his IG fixed. Oh, that guy's cool.
Yeah, I think I sent him to you, but I think he's got like I think a ponytail's cut off or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like the space pirate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's also this.
He kind of looks like a character from that cartoon. What the hell is it called? Dark Waters, right? Pirates of Dark Waters.
Oh yeah.
What software is that? Kenzo wants to know.
The thing that I'm using is Snagit. I'm just using it to grab screen captures to display from my folders. I didn't want to open up my folders and all that stuff.
Kenzo's been printing off some awesome Masters of the Universe shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's this guy too.
Oh, I like that guy too.
There's if you really wanted to, have fun, you've got this guy too.
That last guy kind of reminds me of Mr. T from the A-Team movie.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of the actor.
I think it's supposed to be like a Ripper head, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know you have this one because this is my favorite head of all of the ones that I sent you. So I just got to turn it the proper way to get a good angle. There's this one here.
Oh yeah. Yep. I think I got 2 of those heads.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kenzo. I got 6 more minutes and then it's my birthday officially. And I will be an old bastard. I'll be on the downward slide towards 100.
I've also got some weapons that are supposed to be cyberpunk-ish weapons. There's like this right here.
Oh,
it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as good because it's not in the 3D file. I'm just taking screenshots of my screen.
Yeah, but that still looked damn good.
Yeah.
Painted off.
I've got other weapons, grenades, things like that. Snipers. Bullets. Oh, I didn't even realize I had this. I've got an entire command center there that I could scale down to 118 for you too, Ed. Just so you know.
Let's see.
Oh, you want to see it?
Yeah, hell
it's
yeah.
Not, it's not like the full picture.
Fat Red Foo is asking, how are you at editing STL files?
What are you looking for?
What's up, Tony? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Quentin Jackson. That was his name. Briscoe. You're right. Oh, yeah, that would work, dude, for sure.
Yep. I've got chairs and stuff for the whole setup for that and whatnot. Where's else? What do I have? Anything else to?
Travis, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Keep going. Keep showing off your stuff.
Absolutely.
I'll be right back.
So I also have this. Let me find if I have like a. I guess I don't have like a whole picture. I just have the parts. So that's not a good example. Okay. Doesn't know. Okay. What you really all want to see is this right here, because this is going to be the cool item. So stop sharing and then see if I can present. He might have to wait till he comes back. Yeah, I gotta wait for him to come back to actually launch it. When you're back, Ed, if you could just launch. I unshared and I'm sharing something else now.
What's that?
When you're back, I launched something else.
All right, I got it. Yep.
So this is the manual for this.
Man, that is so awesome.
Yeah, this is what I'll eventually print out here. And that'll be great for the 118. Like, so there you go.
So scroll back up to where you can
Yeah.
see inside the cab. Right there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool because like you could like I don't know what this is here right in front of the right behind the pass or the driver's side, but like you could put like a computer setup right there, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I could mod it out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farad, that's the direction with this. So I have the file for all this, and I've already talked to the creator of the files about potentially being able to offer this in a model kit print, so you could print it. So what I would do is I would print it. So I'd print the tires in a more rubbery resin, and then I would print out all the parts. And there's I don't know if you've seen it. I'll actually there's a thing called Teco Toys, and Teco Toys has done some really cool stuff online where they actually create. Give me a second. I'll share my screen because it's really cool to me. I think it's a really cool approach to how they actually handle their files. But basically, are you still there, Ed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to share my screen again. But I'm going to share a different one. So this is a company called Teco Toys. Does a lot of designing. Am I sharing the right screen here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Excuse me. So I asked the guy if he does commissions or designs figures, things like that. He doesn't. He does his own stuff. He's a real cool dude. Reached out to me right away. But 3D printed files. And he actually creates these. I always forget what they're called, but they're on this this whatever you would call like this.
It's a parts tree, but there's a name for it. I'm drawing a blank on it right now myself.
Yeah, so you can
sprue.
Sprue. So you can print the figure and it prints off in this manner right here. So then you can do your stuff. Sprue. Yeah, exactly what Adam said. So with my plan is, since I own the file and I can do what I want with it from a non-commercial standpoint, I'm going to see if I can get my parts to a sprue style print for the smaller pieces and stuff like that. Putting in little pieces to label them from A, B, C, that type of thing, and then match it to the instruction manual that the gentleman's already provided. And then if it goes well and I can put it together myself, I may end up offering that as a sale item if the pricing for
Echo wasn't the guys that did the Batman though, right? That was a different guy.
No. Are you talking about the figures I showed you recently?
Yeah.
Where they were making like the 1/18 scale?
Yeah, they're making they were kind of like
that's Morphonauts. They're the ones that do that, but they don't actually sell the files. They sell the here it is. They sell the 3D printed toys here. So they sell these.
You want to answer this question real quick?
Follow question: can a person 3D print soft goods like jackets, hoods, clocks, and rubbery material? Yeah. So there's there's alternative resin types. So I'll jump over that in just a second, Farad. But basically, this guy sells these different figures, but he sells them, as fully assembled or unassembled. But the unassembled is just basically the parts that set into each other.
Yeah.
But if you go to like what is the resin I use? It's not Elegoo. I typically use why can't I think of it?
I know on like Etsy I've seen guys print like flak jackets and stuff that are like a rubbery for me.
Oh, happy birthday, Ed. It's after 12.
Oh, is it? Oh, yay! Thank you. Thanks, Fat Red.
What is it called? It's not Elegoo. I don't have Elegoo. I have Anycubic. That's what I have. Sorry.
So that's basically what you'd print the tires off in?
So when they have different types of resin. So they have resins.
Kenzo says Cyratech, something like that.
So that's a brand. That's actually one that a lot of folks use.
Thanks, Briscoe. Thanks,
for
Cobb.
if you're trying to do different types of resins. So they have the different types. They have like this water washable resin, which is what I typically use for the stuff that I'm doing right now. It's massively on sale. But then there's like tough resin, and then there's the high speed resin, and then they have like their standard resin. They have their ABS resin, and then they have so they have different varying ones.
Thanks, Todd.
And they show you kind of like, this is a more highly the ultra tough resin is a highly elastic and ideal for daily use. So it's more soft. So it's something you would probably have a little bit more sponginess to. So you would use this for when you're trying to do like some gear or something, or if you're trying to create a figure, some of those fully 3D printed figures, you'd be using something like this. So, but a lot of people will actually with some experience, and I've been toying around with it myself a little bit. I have been on pause for a while, but people will actually mix different types of resins to get more of a like their own
kind of consistency. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess I wasn't sharing the screen. Sorry, guys. This is the one here.
Yeah.
So you can see that this is like the more intended for more of a rubbery, softer. So you would create like your vest or potentially like a hat or something.
Yeah,
not soft goods in a sense of in the sense of like a fabric soft good, but obviously like more of a, you can see it right here, right? Like they create some sort of hair overlay for like a pop or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, more of a like this is your standard resin. But if you add this, if you add in the additional piece here, I haven't played with this one. But this is, and there's other ones like Kenzo mentioned, the Cyratech stuff that's out there. And then there's other ones out there that I think Techo Toys actually tells you they tell you specifically like on the different figures, they tell you exactly what you should be using. Like they tell you should use like Resioin. They tell you the G217 for, specific transparent parts. They tell you for like your, standard parts, you're going to use like a Resion TH72 or another anti-impact resin. So there it is. See, I didn't get into the Cyrotech stuff. I went with Anycubic because it's what I got into because of the machine they had, and the price point on it was where I needed to get it once I negotiated the rates with them as a once I had my LLC established, I was able to negotiate some additional pricing to try to bring it down a little bit. But Kenzo, is Cyrotech in price point wise? Is that comparable to the Anycubic pricing, or is it a higher price product? I feel like those are the ones like in the metal tins and the metal bottles and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm looking here. It's a little bit higher in price than what I'm used to. Yeah, that's quite a bit more expensive. Yeah, it is.
Have you checked out Kenzo's stuff?
I don't know that I have.
Yeah, go over and check out some of the stuff he's printing for Masters of the Universe. It's pretty wild. I don't know if he's got it on his IG or if it's. I always see it when he shows it off live.
So I was using Sunlow for a while because the price was really good. But then I got in touch with them as a as a direct purchase, as a commercial company, not residential, private usage. And their pricing that they were offering me, I would have had to buy 1,000 units of 1,000 kilogram bottles, 1,000 of them. So essentially, 10,000 10,000 kilograms of resin, which is a lot. But the price point that they could give me was like $18 a bottle, which on Amazon, when they were doing like deals in October and September and Labor Day things, I could get them for like $16 a bottle. And I was like, wait, you can give better prices to them, but and they have to buy 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 3 bottles. But if I buy it and I give you I purchase 1,000 of them, exactly. They wanted, like, I'll literally go pull up my.
Yeah, whoever's selling them is probably buying them at 20,000 bottles and selling them individually on.
No, it's
online.
direct. It was direct. Amazon
was
is direct from Amazon direct from Sunlight.
Oh, that makes no sense.
Amazon direct from Sunlight, and they continue to message me and bother
2
me.
bottles for $30, Kenzo's saying.
Yeah, dude, that's cheaper than they were ever willing to give it to me. Yeah, I'm going back to my email to try to find it, because like it was. Yeah, they gave me an affiliate account or something like that, or I'm trying to find their pricing, because I'm pretty confident it was crazy. I don't see them in here. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Hold on. I know where they are. Give me 1 second. It was when I didn't have a commercial email. I didn't have my actual email. I had a secondary one. So give me a second. Hold on. Yeah. So Sunlow Resin, they told me that yeah, dude, it wasn't even like, it was crazy. They said it's hard to get a big quantity. They understand the position I was in because getting a hard quantity was big. But if I could confirm an order and arrange payment by the end of August, they will give me a price. Where is it? I can't even find the attachments from this freaking email, because I was like, I remember seeing it and just being like, you're kidding me, right? Like,
so buy a shit ton and pay $2 more than you can buy 1 bottle from.
Yeah. Amazon. Oh, here it is. Yeah. For the resin that I wanted, granted, what I wanted was the water washable resin. Was 7. So Kenzo, are you talking water washable, or are you talking the standard? Because the water washable resin, which is what I was trying to procure from them, was $17.22 a bottle. If I bought, 100 to 500 units. Okay, so the standard bottles I could get for $12.52 a bottle, but I'd have to buy 100 bottles. But I don't use the standard resin.
He says he's used standard.
Yeah, so if you're using standard, yeah, if you buy it in bulk and have a commercial account, you can get it down. You can get it down to that $12.50 a unit. Yeah, so then you're also paying for the isopropyl alcohol, which is why I was like, when I figured out the cost for water washable versus iso, which is what I was talking about when we first got on, Ed, the thing was that it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
To do it, but finding out what I found out, using the iso alcohol, drying out faster, not leaving that, stain or that kind of film, if it doesn't dry all the way. And it should save me in space, because I was going to build myself basically like a drying chamber that I was going to have. A buddy of mine who's a roofer, he does rubber roofs. He had a bunch of rubber for me. I was going to use it. I was going to lay, on the walls, build a 24 by 24 box. And I was basically on the top going to put some vents in it. And I was going to put a bunch of like high speed computer fans in it. And I was going to put racks inside it. And I was just going to dry into them. And then in the bottom, I was going to have a pull out tray. and I was going to have it a drip tray that could go drip into a one of those 5-gallon jugs. I was just going to have the drip right into there and fill it up with that. But it would all be just water. And then I'd have to get that to evaporate, but I would have those fans running to dry things out. But with the isopropyl alcohol, I don't need that entire setup, which saves me a ton of hassle.
And a ton of space.
Yeah. But I mean, I could eventually look at the standard resin at this point, because I'm no longer doing that. But when you start messing with isopropyl alcohol, it also for a cleaning unit, it actually makes it so that I can't use my cleaning units that I have currently, because the cleaning units that I have are the ultrasonic cleaning units, and those actually heat up. So because of the fact that they heat up with isopropyl alcohol, you risk flame, fire and stuff. So I can't actually use those with those. So I have to go back to using just a standard cleaning bins. I can't use the ultrasonic ones, because those heat up. So just some changes. But right now, while I was working today, I was watching some YouTube videos online, and Kenzo might appreciate this because he's working with the isopropyl alcohol. Oh yeah, I can talk forever, Allison.
Yeah.
The isopropyl alcohol, I can use. I was watching YouTube videos on how to kind of recycle your isopropyl alcohol and how you could filter them out. And now I'm in my mind, I'm like, ooh, I might get into building myself like a filtration system for the isopropyl alcohol to recycle it, to save on having to buy more and more and more. Obviously, at some point you use it so much you have to replace it, but there's ways to clean it and keep it reusable for a lot longer than the 5, 6, 7, 8 times before it gets completely ruined.
Sweet.
Cool. I know it's late though, dude. I feel bad because I know you got to work in the morning too.
Yeah, so. I got to work, unfortunately.
Yep.
But it's all good. So everybody, thanks for the birthday wishes. Thanks for stopping by. Travis, you want to hang on after I go
Yeah,
off?
brother. Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, thanks, guys. Been a blast. Been a great hanging out with you, like always, Travis. And
always.
Good
Thanks for having me, dude.
When I get my Joy Toy next week, we'll definitely be comparing my Eagle Force with a Joy Toy for you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Everybody, night. Have a great day.